We are ready to ride here at Gas South Arena here on the country-themed night. The Atlanta Gladiators host the Greenville Swamp Rabbits in the middle game of a 3-3. Good evening, everyone. Guy Chiarenza with you here at Gas South Arena, home of the Atlanta Gladiators on what is known as Frosty Boots and Country Roots Night here in the building. So we're sure to hear a lot of country tunes, and for the Gladiators, they're going to look to rope in a win here today after dropping their last three and the season's longest losing streak for the Atlanta Gladiators. Last night, they fell 2-1 at the hands of these Greenville Swamp Rabbits, looking to bite back and get some revenge here today on home ice. They have been dominant this season. 12-3 are the Gladiators in this building. Game 31 here today, approaching the midway point of the season for the Gladiators. Again, the scene shifts to Duluth. Last night we were at Bon Secours Wellness Arena in Greenville. Gladiators fell on the road in a tight battle 2-1. Looking to right the ship here with a couple of home games here before they head off for the season's longest road trip next week. For the Gladiators, now sitting at 21-9, still with 42 points on the season, are caught in a bit of a pickle. They're 3 points behind the South Carolina Stingrays for second, but they're now just 3 points ahead of the Savannah Ghost Pirates, who currently sit in fourth place and who have won 8 games in a row. For the Gladiators, this is their biggest test so far this season, the most adversity they've faced all year long, and the question is how will they respond? Gladiators have an opportunity to take the reins and control their season with a couple of home wins here today and tomorrow over Greenville, who is currently sitting in fifth with a record of 14-14-4 with 32 points on the season. So the Gladiators trying to catch up to the Stingrays, feeling some heat from Savannah, but it is worth noting that the Gladiators, having played 30 games in their season so far, that is the lowest amount of any games played for any team throughout the course of the season to this point. Still plenty of games in hand for the Gladiators, but the key is they have to win those games, and tonight they'll look to do just that. It is the 9th of 14 meetings between these two clubs this season. Gladiators are 6-2 against the Swamp Rabbits this year. First one went to Greenville in this building on November 5th by the final score of 3-1. The Gladiators then won the next 6 games against these two teams before Greenville finally got back and won 2-1 last night at Bon Secours Wellness Arena. This rivalry has been one for the ages and has been very fun to watch this season. I think in the prior 8 meetings, 7 of the 8 have been decided by 2 goals or less, and last night was one of them. Greenville defeated the Gladiators 2-1. For the Gladiators, it was the 9th time that they have played in a scoreless first period this season. The Gladiators have been excellent defensively in first periods this year, allowing just 18 first period goals. The only other team that has allowed less, the Maine Mariners with 15. So the Gladiators come out, put together a much better defensive effort than they did in the 2 games against Savannah, which they both lost. But in the second period, things broke free. It was Remy Parker tipping in a deflection to make it a 1-0 Greenville lead early in the period. Parker gets his first goal as a Swamp Rabbit since coming over in a trade around Christmas time from the Cincinnati Cyclones to make it 1-0 Greenville. But 5:04 into the second period, the captain leads the way. Cody Sylvester scores for the Gladiators. Is able to put in a rebound off a Dylan Carabia shot to make it a 1-1 tie. Sylvester picks up his 9th goal of the season, now with 3 goals and 3 assists. In his last 6, he has continued to heat up this season, and Carabia with the assist earns his first point of the year, playing in his 9th game. And the Gladiators had it all tied up until Greenville goes to the power play and scores, something that has been very rare for the Swamp Rabbits this season. Cam Hausinger scores on the man advantage, extending his point streak to 7 games. 4 goals and 5 assists in that span for Hausinger, and it does end up being the game-winning goal. Keaton Mastronado finished with 2 assists for the Swamp Rabbits as they picked up their 14th victory of the season and ended up getting back to 500 on the season. Isaiah Seville stopped 24 of 25 for the Swamp Rabbits in the victory. TJ Sempton-Felter stopped 31 of 33 as the Swamp Rabbits' game-winning goal did come on the power play. It was their first power play goal in 7 games. And so as we turn our attention to the special teams battle here today, we're going to keep a close eye on what both teams are able to do out of their respective power plays. For Greenville, their power play did win them the game last night. Now jumps up to 10.4% on the season, but that is still by far the worst power play percentage in the ECHL to this point at 30%, or excuse me, at 30th in the league on the season. 30% would be really good, but no, they're 30th in the league with 10.4% on their power play. As for the Gladiators, their power play has been hovering around the middle of the pack. Hasn't scored in the last few games. 18.4% for 16th best in the ECHL, and that turns our attention to the penalty kills. Both very good in their own right. Greenville does have a top 10 unit, 84.4% for 9th in the ECHL. For the Gladiators, their penalty kill is 83.1%, sitting at 12th in the entire league. And so tonight, the focus will be on the power plays here today. But there have been times this season when the Gladiators have won games on the power play, had times where they could have won games with the power play goal. We'll see if they're able to get back to that formula here tonight and get that power play rolling against a good Greenville penalty kill. As the Gladiators didn't end up only allowing 2 goals last night, which really has been their magic number this season. It feels like if the Gladiators can score 3 goals in a game, they're usually the victor, but last night, Gladiators got caught in a bit of a scoring slump, as the Gladiators did do a good job of putting shots on goal for the most part. Did do a good job of putting some grade A chances on Isaiah Seville, but all in all, not enough for Matt Ginn's Atlanta Gladiators. They're going to have to find a way to get back to their scoring ways here today, and they'll have to do it against Matthias Scholl, the netminder that will start for Greenville here today. TJ Semptenfelter is off to Allen. He is off to the All-Star game. He will play tomorrow in the All-Star Classic. Today, it'll be Ethan Hyder as the Gladiators starting netminder, as Atlanta did sign goaltender Carter McPhail out of the FPHL with the Athens Rock Lobsters to a standard player contract. He'll wear number 30. He'll be the backup to Hyder here today. And it is interesting for McPhail. He was loaned to the Swamp Rabbits for a game earlier in the season. Ended up stopping 3 shots in about 14 minutes of game time. Now he's on the other side of this rivalry, and Hyder will take the reins with McPhail as the backup, and he will look to get things back on track for the Gladiators. As Hyder this season enters the matchup, having played 15 games with a record of 10-4, a 2.66 goals against average, and a .916 save percentage, Hyder is just 2 wins away from becoming the 5th place holder on the Gladiators' all-time wins list amongst goaltenders. We'll see if he can inch one more closer here today as the Gladiators host the Swamp Rabbits here on a Sunday afternoon in Duluth. We are back to Gas South Arena for the rest of the pregame show, where we'll get to the keys to the game presented by Beaver Toyota and Mazda, and the starting lineups here today between the Swamp Rabbits and the Gladiators. All that on the other side of the break, as we've got action coming up here from Gas South Arena in just a moment.
Kind of feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how could he spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
Welcome back to Gas South Arena as we are getting set for the 198th meeting all-time between Atlanta and Greenville. Gladiators lead the season series 6-2. Tonight is the 9th out of 14 meetings in the I-85 rivalry this season. All right, let's get to the keys to the game presented by Beaver Toyota and Mazda with our head coach, Matt Ginn. As the first key tonight is to stay the course. The Gladiators have been on their longest losing streak of the season, and all things considered, if your longest losing streak at this point in the year, about the halfway mark, is 3, safe to say you've had a pretty good season to this point. But for the Gladiators, they've kind of gotten away from what their A game is, playing Gladiators hockey. And so the first key from Matt Ginn here today is to stay the course. Don't waver your confidence. Stay firm in your beliefs that you can be a playoff team, can be a great team, as we know the Gladiators are and can be. And so they will look to continue here today and get back to their winning ways. Second key is to win the gritty areas, and this was something that was one of the keys from last night's game, but it rings true. If the Gladiators win those battles along the boards to get puck possession and keep the puck out of the hands of the Swamp Rabbits, you're doing the right thing. You're getting the puck in your hands and creating scoring opportunities off of that possession and winning those battles. Gladiators look to do that again here today. Third key is to play fast and play direct. We've seen this one a lot this year, and that really is the Gladiators when they're at their A game, using their speed to their advantage, playing a downhill style of game, keeping their opponent in their own zone, cycling the puck around and creating chances out of it. That is Gladiator hockey, and so they'll look to get back to that here today as they look to snap the three-game skid here this afternoon against the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. And those are the keys to the game, presented by Beaver Toyota and Mazda with our head coach, Matt Ginn. And so with that, let's get to the starting lineups here today between the Swamp Rabbits and the Gladiators. Greenville set to come out of the tunnel any moment from now. We'll start with them. At left wing is number 8, Keaton Mastrodonato, the maestro, as they call him, 6'1", 205, coming off of a 2-assist performance last night. Mastrodonato on the season is now tied for the team lead in points with 8 goals and 12 assists for 20 points in 28 games. He has 2 goals and 3 assists for 5 points in 6 games against the Gladiators this season. His starting center here today is number 19, Ryan O'Reilly, the rookie, standing at 6'3", 220 pounds, native of South Lake, Texas this season. Currently has 13 points in 32 games to the tune of 7 goals and 6 assists. His starting right wing is the veteran, number 16, Wade Murphy, playing in his second game back with the Swamp Rabbits after being acquired in a trade from Greensboro earlier in the week. Murphy stands at 6 foot even, 194, native of Victoria, BC. Murphy on the season has 4 goals and 5 assists in 25 games. Starting on the back end for the Swamp Rabbits here today, number 43, Tim Lovell, the rookie, standing at 5'10", 175, native of Massachusetts. Will be paired up with number 59, Josh Atkinson, the captain for the Swamp Rabbits and former Gladiator, standing at 6 foot even, 196. Atkinson this season has been lethal against his former team. 14 points in 32 games for Atkinson and 6 points in 8 games against the Gladiators this year. Starting in net for Greenville today is number 30, Matthias Scholl, the rookie netminder, standing at 5'11", 180 pounds, the native of Hermosa Beach, California. Currently has a record of 5-6-2 on the season, with a 2.38 goals against average and a .919 save percentage, and 1 shutout on the campaign. For Scholl, today will be his 16th appearance of the season. Stopped 24 of 25 in a 5-1 win at Orlando on January 5th. But we did see Scholl for a moment last night as Seville experienced a bit of an equipment issue, had to leave at the end of the second period. Scholl came in about 2.5 minutes of game time and ended up stopping 2 of 2. And so that is the starting lineup for Chad Costello's Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Starting today for your Atlanta Gladiators, we will start on the back end this time. Why not? With number 74, Dylan Carabia, standing at 6'3", 200 pounds, picked up his first point of the season last night with an assist on the lone goal from Cody Sylvester. He'll be paired up with number 8, Ryan Conroy, standing at 5'9", 185, native of Chestermere, Alberta. Just out of the tunnel is number 27, Mike McNamee, starting at left wing, standing at 6 foot even, 200 pounds. Played in his first game back from injury last night. His starting center today is number 13, Alex Young, standing at 6 foot even, 179. The Calgary, Alberta native is tied for the team lead in points with 25. And your starting forward at right wing is number 24, Ryan Nolan, standing 6'1", 198. And your starting netminder today is number 31, Ethan Hyder, standing at 6'4", 190 pounds, native of Maple Grove, Minnesota, will lead the Gladiators between the pipes here tonight in his second season with the club. Hyder will be playing in his 16th game this season with a record of 10-4, a 2.66 goals against average, and a .916 save percentage. It's a good day for Ethan Hyder to pick up his 11th win of the year as the Gladiators look to bounce back against the Swamp Rabbits. For the Gladiators, lineup is essentially the same as last night. Only difference is that Hyder starts. Semptenfelter on his way to Allen for the All-Star game is out, replaced by number 30, Carter McPhail, the netminder that was signed earlier this morning as the backup to Hyder here today. With the Swamp Rabbits, a couple of notables. Tristan DeYoung, who played last night, is out, as is Hudson Shandor. And so for the Swamp Rabbits here today, Lord Anthony Grissom, who normally slides in as a defenseman, will be playing on the fourth line as a forward with Remy Parker and Jack Brackett. We'll also see Jacob Modry re-enter the lineup for the Swamp Rabbits as well, in a third D pairing with John Parker Jones, who is typically a forward but has dressed as a defenseman in the past. Coming up next here from Gas South Arena, the national anthem and first period action. We are all set and ready to go from Gas South Arena, home of the Atlanta Gladiators. They host the Greenville Swamp Rabbits in the second game of a 3-3 this weekend before the longest road trip of the year gets underway next Friday in South Carolina. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. This should be a good one. Ninth meeting of the season between these two clubs. 7 out of the prior 8 have been decided by 2 goals or less, and the one that didn't ended up being a 7-4 final score and a Gladiator victory at Bon Secours Wellness Arena. That was the venue last night. Greenville won that one 2-1. Gladiators looking to bounce back with a win on home ice in a building in which they've been dominant this season with a record of 12-3 within the friendly confines of Gas South Arena. Jersey matchup here tonight is the same one that we saw last night. Greenville wearing white jerseys with orange numbers and blue trim. They skate from left to right to begin play here today. The Gladiators wearing their blue jerseys with Gladiator gold trim and numbers are wearing these jerseys for the first time this season on home ice and will skate from right to left this afternoon. It's a great day for hockey here in Duluth. 3-man officiating crew led by Ryan Siegel wearing number 42. Linesmen are Shane Gustafson wearing number 87 and Kyle Gaspari wearing number 67. The matchup is set. Puck is ready to be dropped. Alex Young meets Ryan O'Reilly at center circle to get things started here on a Sunday afternoon in Georgia. And with that, puck is down, and away we go. Greenville comes right down the middle, is immediately stuffed. Wade Murphy got shut down by Conroy. Greenville keeps the puck alive at the line, puts a shot on goal. Wiped away in front of Hyder by Conroy. As O'Reilly was lurking in front of the net, Greenville continues to hang on to it. Mastrodonato from behind the cage, jolts it up top for a shot by Atkinson. Hits a body, comes to the net front. Hyder scrambles across to deny O'Reilly. Good start for Greenville. Atlanta's hardly touched the puck in the opening 30 seconds of this game. Greenville will retreat back into their own ice and get a lay of the land. Mike McNamee on the forecheck, working with Cipollone. They're able to wreak some havoc. Cipollone almost creates a turnover. Nychuk pinching, keeps the play alive. Puck trickles out the center. Matier snatches it at the red line and ends up turning it over on a dump-in attempt. Greenville comes right down to start the game, gets a couple of good scoring opportunities, and then the Gladiators almost get one of their own with a good forecheck, and they do now force Greenville into icing the puck exactly 1 minute into the game. Faceoff will be to the left of Matthias Scholl, who we did see a little bit of last night. Isaiah Seville was the starting netminder, but had an issue with his right pad last night towards the end of the second period, so he had to leave for about 2.5 minutes. Ended up going to the locker room. Scholl came in, stopped 2 of 2, and what ultimately was a 2-1 Greenville victory. Swamp Rabbits do win the defensive zone draw. They try and pound it out, but Cipollone keeps it in. Finds Francis below the right circle. Deaking, hanging on, shadowed by Atkinson. They work it up top. Nychuk fires off the end wall in front, and Scholl's able to swipe it away. Puck leaks into the near corner. Denemy takes a shot. That's stopped. They'll go behind the net. Francis works there. 2 Swamp Rabbits, no problem. Finds Denemy, who centers for Cipollone, and his shot goes away from the net mouth. Denemy has it at the far wall. Works it up top for a shot. Save made. Scholl on Matier. Rebound comes to Francis. Diving, can't get a handle on it. It'll go into the near corner. Picks up possession again. Has it stripped away by Hausinger, but he cannot clear. Gladiators pinch and press, but Sylvester, fresh off the bench, couldn't get the job done. Greenville ices it again, though. 8 seconds under 2 minutes gone by in the first. And so what looked like was going to be a disastrous start for the Gladiators ended up working out quite nicely in the next few shifts after the opening one. And now onto the ice comes the first line of Walter, Sylvester, and Jack O'Brien, the all-star for the Gladiators. He wins the faceoff to Walter. He'll turn and shoot off the stick of a Swamp Rabbit. He'll go into the far corner. Held in at the line by Sylvester. Locates Walter, digging in deep. He'll go around the net and try and stuff it in. Sylvester on the doorstep is denied by Scholl. Walter again tries to stuff it. Ends up having his plans thwarted by Patrick Polino, and the Swamp Rabbits will clear. Good shift for this top line. Cody Sylvester knocks it ahead. O'Brien comes barreling in on the left side. Finds Walter in the corner. Walter centers for O'Brien, but he can't quite hang on to it, and Greenville slides it down for another icing. 2:31 into the first. Great shift for that Cody Sylvester line. they head off. And a big congratulations is in order for Cody Sylvester, playing in game 263 with the Gladiators here today. Passes Brad Shell for 4th most games played in Atlanta Gladiators history. On comes the 4th line. Scardina, Burns, and Morgan. Face-off will be on the far circle to the left of Scholl. Greenville's won another. Modry with it. Scoops it to the neutral zone. Kicked down by Conroy. Darts to his right. Tries to evade pressure from Poisson. Ends up tipping it into the near corner where Morgan will give chase. Greenville able to punch it out to center. Dante Sheriff reels it in at the red line and twists it down to Hyder, who plays it from the trapezoid. Arabia tries to help it out. Pinballs to the slot. Gladiators able to knife it to the line where it's batted down by Parker Jones. And what will end up going down as a hand pass. So for John Parker Jones, number 95 in white, hard guy to miss. 6'7", 230 pounds. He is a big boy. And he is playing as a defenseman for the 2nd straight game here today. Greenville a little bit short-handed on the back end. So we see Lord Anthony Grissom in the lineup as a forward with Shandor out and with DeYoung out as well. Parker Jones still dressing as a defenseman. He has since headed to the bench. Greenville going back on the attack. From the end wall, Scardina peels it off the yellow, locates Conroy. We'll wait a moment, and they'll flapjack it to center circle. It'll bounce a bit. Morgan tries to simmer it down. Puck too hot. Greenville will swipe it back down to Hyder. From the trapezoid, 2nd-year netminder will play it to Burns on the near wing. Mickey Burns, the Mercyhurst product, locates Scardina. He'll flip it ahead to Morgan, who puts a shot into the glove of Scholl, and he will freeze with 16:21 on the game clock. And I really like this 4th line for the Gladiators here. Been together for a few games now. Morgan, Scardina, Burns. Feels like that line has a lot of youth and a lot of speed. Mickey Burns, first full year of professional hockey. Played some games with the Gladiators toward the end of last year, but Morgan and Scardina, 2 first-year forwards, they have got a lot of speed and they have got a lot of bite to their game. Really feels like they try to make the most of every opportunity, and it shows. Very hard-working trio as Greenville ices the puck about the 4th or 5th time. Clock stops 3 minutes and 48 seconds into the first. And it's another face-off to the left of Scholl. And you think the Gladiators can start winning these face-offs, creating some opportunities. They can make Greenville pay with these early icings. 2nd line out there, Young, McNamee, and Nolan. I thought this line was really good for the Gladiators last night. See how they fare here. McNamee tries to handle off the face-off victory. Greenville able to run it down into the near corner. Mateer quickly able to evade Murphy, but does take a check because of it. The outlet to McNamee. Gliding down the right wing, shifts to his forehand at the half wall. McNamee turns and shoots, hits a body, and goes wide. Swamp Rabbits hack it out to center. Corralled by Nightchuck, although had to wait until Nolan got onside, and so Greenville does take possession, and they will look to break out. Here is John Parker Jones leading that charge. Puts a shot off the blocker of Hyder into the far corner. From there, Jarvis tries to roll it out. Instead, it's held in for a shot. That is snapped up by Hyder. Mastronado with the keep, played it across for a chance for Modry streaking in. But Hyder was on red alert, makes the stop with 15:29 on the clock. And for Ethan Hyder, a couple of good stops so far here in this game. That's his 2nd of the day. Shot count reads 5-2 in favor of the Gladiators. At least it should say 5-2. It says 5-1 right now. But in a moment, they'll put that 2nd one back on. Jarvis rolls it out to the neutral zone. Wanted Francis, but he was caught in a pickle. Ends up rolling in right on Scholl. He'll play it to his left. Greenville spinning, trying to get it out. Polino in the far corner on his forehand. Slinks behind Scholl. Darts through the slot dangerously out to the neutral zone where it hits a stick of the intended receiver and ends up getting shuffled to the near side for Parker Jones. He'll wheel it into the far corner. Simmered down by Polino. Locates O'Hara, quick touch pass back to Polino, and the Swamp Rabbits then turn it over in the near corner. Atlanta will end up icing this puck on the exit with 5:14 gone by in the first. A few whistles so far to start the game here today, but all in all, a lot of those working in the Gladiators' favor. On the ice now, the third line of Francis, Denemy, and Cipollone, along with the two blue liners, Jarvis and Orzek. And it really feels like to me, for the Gladiators to unlock their full potential this season, I think it starts with this third line. Cipollone, Francis, Denemy. These are three guys that have played a few years, respectively, in the league, have some pro experience under their belt, are very capable of becoming those next-level players, but haven't really taken that jump yet this season. And I think we're about to see it here as we approach the midway point of the year. We're going to see that three really take that next step this season, become real game changers. Swamp Rabbits throw the puck cross ice, ends up going to the slot where it rolls in on Hyder. He will cover. What a strange play that was. Greenville goes cross ice, hits the near wall, angled towards the net, and a few Gladiators, a few Swamp Rabbits had an opportunity to touch that puck and ended up just tying each other up, and it rolls it on Hyder, and he freezes with 14:23 left in the first. Face off to the left of Hyder. Won by the Gladiators. Conroy had his stick held by Murphy. Make that Peterson. Greenville keeps the puck alive. Gladiators angle it to the near corner where Conroy quickly outlets to Sylvester. He turns it over to Sheriff. Quick shot. Hyder's got it. And he will hold. Unusual and uncharacteristic mistake for Cody Sylvester. Kind of a blind pass there. Caught in some traffic. Tries to find the trailing man. Instead it was Dante Sheriff. And Sheriff takes that, drives the net. But Hyder's able to stop the low shot and keep it out. Face off to his left. Gladiators win it. Conroy has it from the near corner. Drops it off the end wall to Carabia. Outlets to the neutral zone for Walter. And got a hand pass on that play. With 6:06 gone by in the first. Sends us to our first time out. Gladiators and Swamp Rabbits scoreless here in Duluth. We are back after this from our local sponsors.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous. Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee Road, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Action to start this one here at Gas South Arena, but we are still scoreless. Gladiators win a neutral zone face-off and pump it into their right. Walter from the far corner works behind the net. Two Swamp Rabbits defending, one of those Parker Berg. O'Brien now in the scuffle as well, able to locate Sylvester on the right wing, creates some separation, plays it across. It's intercepted by Hausinger. Creates some room to breathe down the left wing, puts a shot on goal to Hyder. Soft one tapped into the near corner by the netminder. O'Brien and the Gladiators escape through center is Nychuk. Centers for Walter. Had his stick lifted by Ryan O'Hara on the back check. Now it's O'Brien in the near corner. Has his pocket picked by O'Hara. Greenville clears out to center where the bouncing puck will go wide left of Hyder and end up being an icing on Greenville. A couple of miscues for the Gladiators in this game, creating some opportunities for the Swamp Rabbits. The latest, Cody Sylvester does a nice job of escaping from the pressure, creating some separation, and then immediately just coughs it up. Tries to send it across the blue line, and the pass is picked off by Hausinger. And that's a guy that you don't want to have the puck on his stick in this game. 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points in Hausinger's last 7. Did score the game-winning goal in the power play for Greenville last night. Gladiators need to be watching out for number 38 in white here today. Face-off to the left of Scholl. Fourth line back out there. Scardina's won the face-off. Digging deep is Orzek. Stops on a dime at the half wall. Tied up with O'Hara. Still fighting for the puck. It's dragged down. But with help from Morgan, they keep the play alive. Orzek has it back, working on the wall, centers, and that's picked off. Hausinger again from center circle. Finds an open man on the left wing. It's O'Hara. And after a tighter shift with the icing, forced to just drop it down and head off for a change. Gladiators catch another break as Morgan directs it down. From the end wall, Scardina meets it from his knees, swipes it to Morgan, but pass is broken up, sent out to center by Greenville. From there, Morgan wires one into the near corner and heads off for a line change. And for Atlanta now is the second line, Nolan, Young, and McNamee. O'Reilly carries it to the neutral zone, has it swiped off his stick. Thankfully for him, Tim Lovell, his D-man, was there. Fling it to Atkinson, who goes cross-ice to Mastrodonato. Mastrodonato, with 2 assists last night, is under contract with Greenville's AHL affiliate, the Ontario Reign. He rims it down. Atlanta hammers back out to center, bouncing puck. McNamee able to poke it down into the near corner. McNamee in his second game back after missing the previous 11 due to an upper body injury. Carabia walks the line, drifting right. He'll fire. Kick save Scholl. Puck will go to the far wall and be sent out and all the way down for what should be and will be a Greenville icing. And that's about the 6th or 7th time. And no, I'm not joking. That is about the 6th or 7th time that Greenville has iced the puck here today. And that has to be driving Chad Costello nuts, the head coach of the Swamp Rabbits. Great player in this league, Costello. Was once the head coach of the Allen Americans, has since made his way to Greenville. First year behind the bench for Costello. And on the flip side, Matt Ginn, first year as the head coach for the Atlanta Gladiators. He is headed to the All-Star game immediately after this game concludes. He'll be the head coach of one of the 2 teams, Stars or Stripes, at the All-Star Classic tomorrow night, which will be aired on NHL Network. Carson Denemy from center circle quickly finds Cipollone, tied up with Parker Jones, able to free it from that area to Nychuk. Turn to his left, return it to Cipollone. Wanted Francis on the zone entry, but Greenville's able to pump it to the line. Nychuk can't keep it alive as it's stripped away by Sheriff. 2-on-1 the other way. Sheriff to the inside. Intercepted by Mateer and swept out of harm's way. Great read from Jack Mateer. Here's a long shot. It gets tipped wide by Hyder. Not just enough of it. Now at the line, it is Modry to Sheriff. His shot sticked away by Hyder. Rebound back to Modry. Denemy forces out to center. Gladiators get a partial change in. Off the bench is Jarvis, replacing Nychuk. Right wing, Parker Jones tips it to the line for Sheriff. Drop from there is blocked by Denemy. Puck caught in a convergence. Gladiators lifted to center. Walter 1-on-1 with Murray. Darts to his left, forced into the corner. Looking for reinforcements. His line mates tumble over the bench. O'Brien has it on the near wall. Up top is Jarvis. Puts a shot into the body of Parker Jones. He'll clear out to center. It's driven right back in by Jarvis. Puck rimmed down, slowed down by Scholl. Left for the trailer, it is Parker Jones. Locates Murray in the trapezoid. 9:57 left in what has been a scoreless first period. Turnover in the slot. Sylvester looks to center. Broken up by Parker Jones. Hit his skate, sent out to center. Greenville races up ice. 2-on-2. They center for a tip chance. Gone wide by Brackett. Now Warzek. Outlets to the neutral zone. Wants Sylvester. Boomerangs back to him. Finds Morgan cross ice. From the right wing, Morgan shoots into the glove of Scholl. He'll freeze with 9:32 left in the opening period. Looking like the wild, wild west out there here on the country themed night at Gas South Arena. Still scoreless in this one. We are back in a moment after a word from our local sponsors.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you. Satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders. Crispy, juicy, tendery tendies. Ooh, that's fun to say. Tendies, tendies, tendies. And they're so good, maybe we should change our... For tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
Face off to the left of Shoal, Gladiators and Swamp Rabbits. Back and forth action here as the first period rolls on, but still no score. Last night's game in Greenville produced a scoreless first period, the 9th such instance that the Gladiators have played in a scoreless first period. Hoping today is different as the Gladiators look to strike first. McNamee taps it off the end wall, angled to the near side. Greenville floats it out to center, bouncing puck out of the reach of O'Reilly, and he is shrugged away by Conroy as Hyder takes the loose puck and shoves it into the near corner. Out of that pile-up comes Mike McNamee, looking for a trailer, one at Carabia out of his reach. Young picks it up, finds McNamee in open space. Rumbling down the left wing, he'll pitch it to the trapezoid. Getting there first is Berg, overskates it, and is left for Murray. He'll rainbow it over center circle, bouncing puck, swiped away from Mastrodonato by Nychuk. The defenseman turns up ice, 25 points on the year for Nychuk, distributes to Nolan on the left wing and takes in the return feed in the corner. Nychuk centers for Burns. Quick one-touch, wanted to go back to Nychuk, ended up finding a Swamp Rabbit. Puck loose in the far corner now, Young working against Lovell, gets shoved into the boards. No penalty there, shot from the line, goes into the glove of Shoal with 8:25 to go in the first. Really good sequence there for that line for the Gladiators, and it ended up being that Mickey Burns and Chad Nychuk combined for a good play there in the near corner, but now it kind of slows down after Burns and Nychuk had a bit of a miscommunication. Nychuk able to dig that puck out of the corner, find Burns, and Burns quickly tried to get it back to him, but I think Nychuk wasn't really expecting that, and as a result, the play kind of ended from there, but good thought process nonetheless. Gladiators looking for a little bit more there. As a shot by Scardina goes up to the left point. Nychuk returns it to him in the trapezoid. On his backhand, he'll center for Burns. Puck is picked off by Sheriff, and he'll outlet up ahead for Poisson. Centering feed goes wide of Peterson. In and out of the slot, Gladiators take it up ice. Here is Morgan from the right wing. Wants to center, hits the skate of Lovell, and goes down to the end wall. Lovell is able to whack it over to Sheriff on the near side. He is spilled down by Mickey Burns. Morgan with the puck. Finds Orzik at the line. Across he goes to Jarvis for a kick save by Shoal. From the corner, Burns takes a shot and his stick breaks. Has to go get a new twig. Greenville with possession. Will slot it to the neutral zone. Up to Peterson. From the right wing, gets checked off the puck by Jarvis. Gladiators with possession with 7:26 left in the opening frame. Orzek, the former Iowa Heartlander, able to find Jarvis on the left wing. Up ahead, locates Francis. Now Denemy on the left wing fires a slap shot into the glove of Shoal with 7:13 to go in period one. Shot count reads 10-5 in favor of the Gladiators, which is a sight that we have not seen a whole lot as of late. Gladiators have been outshot in each of their last 3 games, and coming into today on this 3-game losing skid for Atlanta, the Gladiators had been outshot 92-78 in that span and outscored 10-5. So far, doing a good job of putting some shots on Shoal. Have not found one to go into the back of the net just yet. As Greenville ices the puck and will pay another visit to Matthias Shoal. So Shoal this season making his first start, I should say, since the 5th of the month. Did get some game action last night, stopped 2 of 2 in about 2.5 minutes of game time. But the first year pro under contract with Ontario, had a decent start to the season. 5-6-2 record, 2.38 goals against average, and a .919 save percentage. As Greenville really looks to try and find a bona fide number 1 in net this year. Seville has been good, but he's been up and down to Ontario. But for most of the year, Shoal has been available. Greenville able to lift it out to center. Conroy handles from there. Skating backwards, pressured by Mastrodonato. Taken to the end wall, and Mastrodonato still working hard. Can't quite snatch it away as Cipollone scrambled in to help out his teammate. Gladiators with possession still. Denemy at the red line, winds it into the near corner and heads off for a line change. 6:25 to go in the opening period. Modry waits behind Scholl, looking for an avenue to break out. Modry, 3 points in 32 games last year with Greenville, finds Murray, the alternate captain for Greenville. In the right wing, trying to go across, finds Polino below the goal line. He'll swoop it over to the near wing for O'Hara, tries to cut inside, but Sylvester and O'Brien had that covered. Puck back out to center. Cam Hausinger connects with Murray. Across they go to Berg. Outlet pass hits the stick. Gladiators have it up ice. Sylvester delays. Pass to the inside. Makes its way to Nychuk. From below the left circle, Nychuk will go behind the net. Look to center. Broken up by two Swamp Rabbits in front. Taken on the run by Atkinson. Mateer foils his plans at the blue line. Gladiators try and move in transition. Plans go astray, and will end up making its way back to Hyder. Both teams take this opportunity to get a line change in. 5:18 left in the first period. Nolan sidesteps on the right wing and centers for Young. Tries to work his way in. Greenville has it. Send it out to center. Jarvis gets flung down by Sheriff. He'll come barreling in. Cross-ice feed is batted down by Orzek. Nolan rolls it to the neutral zone, intended for McNamee, but it skipped over his stick. Greenville with it, starting from the back end. Lovell to Atkinson. He'll drift to the right wing. Soft pass, intercepted by Nolan. Tried to spring McNamee up ice, but ends up getting caught up too by Lovell, and Greenville has it once more. Final 5 minutes of the first period. Here is Lovell. Drop pass for Sheriff from the wall. Glides it down to the near corner. Turn feed, hits his skates, and is taken away by Conroy. Streaking up ice, developing 3-on-2. Nolan from the right wing, fire save, rebound in front. Conroy couldn't finish the job. Scholl got enough of it and was able to sweep it away. Now Burns forces a turnover for a shot by Scardina. That misses the target. Mickey Burns and that fourth line playing some kind of way here today. Great hustle by Burns. Sets up the chance for Scardina. Just a tad off the mark, and we're still scoreless. 4:05 left in the first period. We are back to Duluth after this.
Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks, and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
Still looking for our first goal in today's game. Scoreless affair with 4:05 left in the first period. Coming up next at the end of the first period, we'll have the first intermission report here for you on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. We'll be joined by Shelby Rabideau. We'll recap the first period, look ahead to the second, and as always, check in our YouTube live chat and see how everybody's doing here on a Sunday afternoon. Conroy and the Gladiators trying to get the first one here. Gladiators have surrendered the first goal in each of their last 3 games. Dylan Carabia starts it from the back end. Pumps it left wing, looking for Scardina. Closed in on by Brackett. Couldn't quite grab it. Now Greenville has it from below their own goal line. They'll whack it out the center. Reeled in by Nychuk. Possession changing like a tennis match. Here is Burns to wire it into the left side for Scardina, and he'll peel away. Gladiators going off for a line change. Modry slings it down to Hyder from the trapezoid, plays it to his left. Wants Nychuk and had him, but Mastrodonato again. Very pesky on the forecheck. Gets him caught in a bind. Gladiators do get free from there. Wind it out to center, and Greenville returns it to Hyder on a dump in. Left for Nychuk, standout defenseman, under contract with Milwaukee. Quickly starts the breakout. Francis comes barreling in on the left side and centers just out of the reach of Cipollone. Now Greenville takes it in transition. They delay to Berg, but they're offside with 2:46 left in the first. So coming into the matchup, talked about how the Gladiators are now at an interesting point in their season. Great start, 21-9. Although they have faced their biggest adversity of the season to this point, 3-game losing skid. Trying to break that here today with a home win in a building where they've gone 12-3 this season on home ice. But interestingly enough, Atlanta 3 points back of South Carolina, who's playing Savannah again here today, who's won their last 8. And then speaking of Savannah, they're now just 3 points back of the Gladiators after winning 8 games in a row. So it's an interesting race here in the South Division. Gladiators trying to get a win and propel themselves to the upper echelons of the division as they're set to meet Florida and South Carolina next week. Cipollone's shot blockered away by Scholl. He has his own rebound, looks to center, hits a stick on the way. That was Murray making the play. Now Greenville takes it up ice. Mastrodonado bounces to the right wing, pass to the inside, hits a skate, and tumbles out to neutral ice. O'Reilly right down the middle. Pushes it right for Mastrodonado, who fires into the body of Hyder, who absorbs it with 2:01 left in period 1. And on the flip side of the coin, you think about what Greenville has been able to achieve this season. Been hovering around 500 for much of the year, currently sitting at 5th place in the South Division. But with the way the division is right now, they're a lot closer to the bottom than they are that 4th seed. And so thing to keep in mind at this point is, while the Gladiators are in good position, closing in on 2nd, they have played the least amount of games out of any team in the ECHL so far. So Brian tries to stuff it in, and it is kept out by Scholl. We've seen a couple of moments in this game when the Gladiators have tried to stuff pucks in on Scholl, and it hasn't quite worked out to this point. 15 shots on goal, but still no score for the Gladiators. Greenville has 6 shots on goal. Very refreshing, as that really hasn't been the case all that much this season. From center, Sylvester caught between 2 Swamp Rabbits, loses a hand on it. Polino, the former Cyclone, drives it down low to Hausinger. Returned up top. Atkinson across to Lovell at the right point. They'll trade places. Lovell drifting left. Makes his way to the circle. Rolls back. Leaves it for Polino. He'll take a shot deflected in front. O'Hara tries to stuff it in. And Hyder flashes the right pad to keep it out. Greenville's best chance in a long time as Walter rims it down to Scholl and heads off for a line change. 1:05 left in the opening period. Spinorama from Atkinson to get around Young. Young the forechecker as Atkinson drives it in. At the line, quick shot goes into the glove of Hyder. He'll stop time with 53.6 to go. Second line on the ice for the Gladiators. McNamee, Young, Nolan. 2 blue liners, Carabia and Conroy. As the face-off will be to the right of Hyder. O'Reilly will take this face-off against Alex Young. As Greenville wins the face-off. Swoop it down to the trapezoid. Puck clinks into the near corner. Wade Murphy, the veteran, working there. Former Steelhead, former Gargoyle. Gets it to the line for a shot that's stopped by Hyder. Second opportunity, slapped wide by Berg. Held in at the line by Murray. Digs it down low to O'Reilly. They burrow in deep. Force it to the left side. Shot stopped by Hyder. Rebound comes to Nolan. Can't get it out. Murray snaps it to the left circle. There is Mastrodonado turning and shooting. Blockered away by Hyder. Sent into the far corner. 16 seconds to go. Sheriff drives towards the net and fires. Hyder the save. The puck is loose. Swept away by Young and cleared. It'll roll in on goal to Scholl. No icing. Quickly pushes it right side with 5 seconds. It'll jump over the stick of Sheriff. Held onto by Carabia. And that is how the first period will end. So, same story as last night's scoreless first period. Nothing new for the Gladiators. This is their 31st game and their 10th scoreless first period this year. So about 33% of the time, the Gladiators are playing in a scoreless first period, and that is exactly what we've seen so far here today. Atlanta leads the shot count 15-11, but still no goals on the board. We'll talk all about what we just saw here in the first period with Shelby Rabideau. Look here ahead to the second period, and also take a look at our YouTube live chat as well. We come back for the first intermission report here from Duluth. Once again, Atlanta and Greenville scoreless after one. We are back to Gas South Arena after this.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how could he spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track.
We don't just straighten you out, we empower you. We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Gas South Arena. Shelby Rabideau here in that first period, but first, let's check out the scores. It is scoreless here, unfortunately, in Gas South Arena, but it looks like a better start for the Gladiators here than the last time we were in this building. Gladiators have 15 shots on goal, and the Greenville Swamp Rabbits have 11. So, Guy, what are you thinking about so far with this period?
I think for the Gladiators, you see another scoreless first period, and your first thought is, all right, when are we going to see some offense? But for the Gladiators, the bread and butter of their season so far this year has been goaltending first and foremost, which they've gotten from Ethan Hyder here in this first period, and great defense, great structure. Gladiators over the last two games have gotten back to that formula. 2-1 final score last night. Usually in most cases, 2 goals against is enough to win. Gladiators just lack in the offensive department, but the key is that they're getting back to their game. Kind of got away from that in the 2 losses against Savannah, as you kind of alluded to there in the last time we were in this building. Gladiators are slowly getting back to playing their style of game. Look for a big second period from them here.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes. I know that you mentioned in your notes that the first period is usually the Gladiators' best defensive period. So did you see that today, or did you see more of an offensive play during the first period here?
It's interesting that you bring up that point. Obviously, the score is scoreless, and that would bode a good defensive first period for the Gladiators, which it was. But you think about what they were able to do offensively. 15 shots on goal for the Gladiators in the first period. That is the most that they've had in an opening period in a long, long time. And so this is a Gladiators team that certainly favors quality over quantity when it comes to the shot count. But here today, they've done a nice job of putting shots on goal. And I almost wonder if that was a little bit in the game plan from this Gladiators team, who are facing their biggest test so far this season. 3-game losing skid, trying to snap it here on home ice. They got goalied a little bit last night. Great game from Isaiah Seville. Gladiators here today now facing Matthias Scholl, trying to get anything they can go into the back of the net. And so done a good job of using the puck in transition, winning those battles along the boards. cycling the puck around the zone, really doing anything they can offensively to generate some scoring chances. And as a result of that, they've got 15 shots on goal. So it's working to this point, just haven't got one to go.
And I want to talk about that first line. So we have Sylvester, O'Brien, and Walter alongside with Conroy and Carabia. This is the second time this line has played together since Boudon has left and Isaac Walter has gone back to the Gladiators. What are you noticing from this line?
I thought that line looked pretty good last night. Obviously, when you've got a newcomer into the lineup in Jack O'Brien, it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to the new system, your teammates, your line mates. And for the first few games he was here, he was playing on the second line. And it seems like now that the Gladiators are really back to full strength, with the exception of Brendan Less out due to injury, they've really gotten back what they need personnel-wise. Walter back in the lineup from Milwaukee. O'Brien is that new first-line center with Sylvester as his left wing. And it feels like this is the line that could unlock the offense for the Gladiators here. Louis Boudon, great player. He's off to the Olympics. Great player in his own right. He's going there for a reason. Had 30 points upon his departure from the Gladiators. It feels like Jack O'Brien can be that guy to take over that first-line center spot and get the scoring going for the Gladiators. I think they've looked well so far here today. A couple of miscues and turnovers from that line, but I think you can attribute that to being a new group. This is just the second game that they play with each other. I think as we watch this Gladiators team over the next few weeks and this line continues to play together, watch out for those three. And you actually talked to Isaac Walter earlier in the week. Spent 4 games up in Milwaukee, recorded an assist. Great job, well done for Walter up there. We're happy to see him go up there, but gotta admit, we got a smile on our faces to see him back.
Yeah,
good to see Walter back in town. And so I think he is one of those guys that can unlock this offense for the Gladiators on that top line. I'm going to roll that interview right now and see what Walter had to say with you earlier this week.
Hi everyone, Shelby Rabdo here with Isaac Walter, and welcome back to Atlanta.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, how was it playing with the Milwaukee Admirals?
It was a good experience. Great to be up there, and it was, as I said, good experience. It was really fun, but good to be back here.
Yeah, and what was your major takeaway from playing with the team?
It's a higher level, so the intensity is up, quicker play, so you have to be on your toes all the time.
And now that you're back in Atlanta, I want to talk about how you got the Rookie of the Month for the ECHL. How do you feel getting that milestone?
Yeah, obviously it's exciting. I think I played well, and it's always nice to be rewarded with something like that.
How were you able to perform at such a high level so consistently throughout the month of December?
It's tough. It's mentally hard, but you just gotta have to fight in every game and work hard. I think just sticking to your game and keep playing the way when I play good, and taking good things out of every game and developing on that.
Yeah, well, we're so excited that you're back. Can't wait to see you play this weekend.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So that was Isaac Walter with you earlier this week, and he had a great month in the month of December. And this is a guy where, he ended up having 8 goals and 5 assists in 9 games in December. Won ECHL Rookie of the Month. And that's why I think that he is very much capable of being that catalyst for the Gladiators to get their offensive game going again. And there's been a few moments in the season where the Gladiators ended up putting 7 goals on the board, like we saw against Greenville at the start of the month. And there's also been games where they've been shut out and kind of gone in a scoring slump. And it seems like every time they go into one of those slumps, you look towards your playmakers to make big plays. Talking about Isaac Walter, Cody Sylvester, Chad Nychuk, these are the guys that in moments like this you turn to give yourself a little bit of a boost and get yourself back. So those are the 3 guys that I'm watching for here today. Looking for Walter, Nychuk, and of course the captain, Cody Sylvester.
Yeah, and I loved when I talked to Walter in that interview. He said that, every single game that he plays, he picks something to learn from, and I think that's one of the best things you can do in a game you win or a game that you lose. But I also wanted to talk about Nychuk because I read that in your notes he is the 6th amongst ECHL defensemen in points with 25, and then 2nd in plus and minus with a plus 20 rating.
Yeah, and Nychuk has had an exceptional year. And I think if most teams were able to have more than one represented to the All-Star game, and I say that because the Gladiators do have 2 players, but technically Jack O'Brien is Iowa's All-Star. I think if both teams were able to have more than one representative, I think Chad Nychuk is definitely in that conversation. I mean, this is a guy that has had an outstanding year. 3 goals, 22 assists, 25 points on the campaign for Nychuk. He has really found his game this year. And for a defenseman to be tied for the team lead in points, that really says something. And for a plus 20 for Nychuk as well, he's just had a great campaign. And so it really feels like for the Gladiators this year, they haven't had a whole lot of scoring from their back end, but that one catalyst back there, that one driving force really engineering a lot of those plays, it has been Chad Nychuk. And so when the offensive well runs dry, look for him to really kind of refill that and get things going for the Gladiators.
Yeah, it's been great watching him play and hopefully continue to see that passion, that drive in the second period. But I want to ask you, and I want to ask the chat a question before we head to the break. And since it is country night here, Frosty Boots and Country Roots, I want to know everyone's favorite country artist. So when we come back from the break, we'll talk more about what we want to see in the second period. We'll check in with the chat, see who your favorite country artist is, and see who Guy's is, because that's what matters, right?
We'll find out.
All right, we'll see you after the break here in Gas South Arena. Again, we are scoreless here after the first period.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you could win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Need a professional brand? Alpha Graphics delivers with stunning signage, graphics, and marketing materials that are exactly what you need to earn clients' trust. Alpha Graphics. Bring your brand to life.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous. Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Welcome back to Gas South Arena. Shelby Rabideau here with Guy Chiarenza. We're going to be talking about what we want to see in the second period, but first, we're scoreless here after one period of play. The Gladiators have 15 shots on goal, Swamp Rabbits have 11, and we want to check in with the out-of-town scoreboard. So, Guy, you want to take it away?
I will, and I do have an interesting score to report. The Savannah Ghost Pirates are hosting the South Carolina Stingrays here today, and the only other game that is going on in the South Division. And it is South Carolina with a 3-0 lead over the Ghost Pirates after one. Savannah has won 8 games in a row, has really propelled themselves into that 4th seed, separated them from Greenville, who is currently sitting in 5th, and are trying to catch the Gladiators, just 3 points back of them, but looks like South Carolina doing the Gladiators a little bit of a favor here today, although Atlanta trying to keep pace and catch the Stingrays themselves, so it's all about perspective, isn't it? But the Stingrays do have goals from Simon Pinard, Stan Cooley, and Patrick Guzzo, all coming in the first period to give themselves a big 3-0 lead on the road in Savannah. So we'll keep an eye on that one as the day goes on, but for the Gladiators, if that score holds, they need to find a way to win here today to keep that gap between them and South Carolina just 3 points.
Okay, so it's important that the Gladiators win today.
I mean, it's always important that the Gladiators win, but yes, today it could be a little bit more important than usual.
Gotcha. And before we get into what we want to see for the second period, I have a question for the chat, and it is Frosty Boots and Country Roots today here in Gas South Arena. So I want to know what everyone's favorite country artist is. So let us know in the chat, but first we're going to talk about what we want to see in the second period.
I think for the Gladiators here in the second period, it can be easy to get frustrated. scoreless first period last night, just 1 goal on the board last night. You've lost 3 games in a row, and you just can't get anything to go offensively. But think back to the keys to the game from Matt Ginn. The first key was to stay the course. And I think we're going to see a good test for this Gladiators team in their mental toughness. For young teams, it can be very easy for them in a moment like this to have their confidence waver, and season can get derailed from moments like that. For this Gladiators team, they've got a lot of guys in the locker room that have been leaders in the past, and even leaders this season like Sylvester, Jarvis, and now Conroy, who's wearing an A for the Gladiators. So I think this is a moment where you have to stick to the basics, stick to your game. I thought the Gladiators had a really good first period, just couldn't get one to go. And so they need to find a way to stick to that formula here in the second period and not let their confidence drop. Just keep at it, and I think something is going to go for them. But it's once you start to lose that confidence, that's when things can start to go south for the Gladiators. Head coach said it best himself. Stay the course, and things will be fine.
Who do you think's going to get that first goal for the Gladiators tonight? Do you have a guess?
I do. We talked about Isaac Walter. We talked about Nychuk. Those two, I think, are going to have an impact in this game. But the guy that I'm really watching for here today is the guy that's hitting another milestone. What else is new? Cody Sylvester. Game 263 with the Gladiators here today. Now 4th on the all-time list in Gladiators history, passing Brad Shell, who was great in his own right back in the day. And, Sylvester was the guy last night that got it done for the Gladiators. And it really feels like at this point in the season, he's starting to round a corner. 3 goals and 3 assists in his last 6. He's finally starting to heat up. It's been a bit of a slow start to the season for Cody Sylvester. He's been a little bit different than what we've seen in years past from him. And it feels like now is the time for him to step up and be that guy, be that leader to take this team to the next level. At this stage of the season, it can be kind of tough to get through the dog days of January, February, the midway part of the season, before you really get into that playoff push in March and April. And in moments like that, you need your bona fide goal scorers to step up. And so for Sylvester, he's been heating up as of late. Didn't like the way that he played last season. Talked to him in the summer and said, yeah, I didn't like the way last year went. Want to get better this year, get back to my A game. Remember, this is a guy 2 years ago that scored 38 goals in a single season, set a new franchise record. We know what he's capable of. I think that he's really turned a corner at this point in the season, and I think today is his game to really solidify that fact. Give me Cody Sylvester and get the Gladiators on the board here in the second period.
I think that he was the one. When we played last in Gas South Arena, we were also scoreless after the first period, and I think that Cody Sylvester was that player to score that first goal of the game. So maybe we have a little streak going on here for him scoring that first goal.
He's been a good pick, and fans, you can still make your pick as to who you think is going to score the first goal of the game. And actually, if you head on over to our social media platforms, make your pick for the first goal and first assist, brought to you by Hancock Whitney Bank and Pinnacle Promotions, respectively. And there are prizes attached to that, so make sure you go make your pick, and you can see if there's still scoreless score, there's still a little bit of time.
There's still time, everyone, and there's still time to tell us who your favorite country artist is.
Yes.
Let me hear yours.
Give me an old school classic. Give me Johnny Lee. A lot of people might not know who Johnny Lee is, but Johnny Lee is. I'm not really a big country guy. I'm really not. Yeah. I'm more of an old school rock and roll kind of guy, but Johnny Lee has got some good classics in him. Looking for Love, great song. I think that was featured in Urban Cowboy, the movie. I don't think I've seen the full movie, but I know it's an Urban Cowboy, so check him out. Johnny Lee's good. I like him a lot.
As for me, I'm more of a girl country artist, so give me Casey Musgraves. Love her first album, so good. Or her second album, Golden Hours, so good. Won a Grammy. Kelsey Ballerini and OG Taylor Swift debut era is great, but
couple good picks. Seems like you know more about country than I do.
I mean, my mom listened to it in the early 2000s. That's how I discovered Taylor Swift.
Looks like Daffy Doo is going with Alan Jackson. Can't say I heard of it. I don't listen to any country, so it's kind of a tough answer. But I'll check it out. How about that?
We're gonna be educated.
We'll check it out. We're gonna learn here today. We're gonna find out a lot about country. We're gonna find out a lot about this Gladiators team at the start of the second period. Looks like we are just about out of time here for the first intermission report.
Well, still scoreless here. Hopefully we get some numbers on the board. So see you at the top of the break.
More than just cookies.
Desserts now in rotation.
We are just about set for the start of the second period. Gladiators and the Swamp Rabbits both back out on the ice. Gladiators wearing their blue jerseys with Gladiator gold numbers in trim. We'll skate from right to left in the second period. Swamp Rabbits wearing white jerseys with orange numbers and blue trim. We'll skate from right to left here in the second period. And so we get ready for second period action. Gladiators have been one of those teams this year where it just seems like they heat up as the game goes on. Another scoreless first period means that Gladiators have still scored 25 goals in the first, but look ahead to the next two periods and the way that they've scored over the course of the year. 29-4 in the second period and 33 in the third. So things should be heating up here for the Gladiators as the game goes on. They certainly hope that is the case, as this is still anybody's game. Gladiators win the opening face-off of the second period, and we are ready to roll for period number 2. Gladiators drop it down to the end wall, picked up by Scholl. Greenville spins it out the center. Taking it on the move is Murphy, although it's quickly bodied off of it by Alex Young. And I beg your pardon, that was actually O'Reilly, as Murphy went crashing into the wall with Conroy. Greenville will end up icing the puck just 28 seconds into the second period. And that is been a common theme so far here in today's game. Greenville iced the puck a handful of times back in the first period, set up some good chances for the Gladiators. And I think if the Swamp Rabbits are going to play that game and they're going to give the Gladiators opportunities like that, for the Gladiators, win these face-offs and make them pay. Alex Young will look to do just that up against O'Reilly on the near circle. Young wins it. Conroy has it. Takes a shot just wide. Wanted a tip from Nolan in front, but didn't get much of it. Greenville hoists it out to center. The lob is corralled by Carabia. Young working in the vicinity. Is able to wind it into Greenville, icing it off for a line change. Nolan will join him as the third line comes on for the Gladiators. Right wing shot by Hausinger, goes through the slot, and out the other side from the near corner. O'Reilly turns to his forehand, lays it up top for Berg, hits his skate, is taken away by McNamee. On the move, drops it down into the near corner. Francis will chase it to the end wall. McNamee at the end of his shift goes off to the bench as Denemy hops on. Greenville takes it away and quickly flies up ice. Centering feed to Hausinger. He'll peel to the near wall. Has an open man at the point. Murray fires. Glove save Hyder. He'll freeze it with 1:22 gone by in period 2. Both teams buzzing here on this fresh sheet of ice here in the second period. Face off to the left of Hyder, who has made some really good saves so far here in today's game. Remember, the last time we saw Ethan Hyder was that 5-2 loss to the Savannah Ghost Pirates. Tough day for anybody in a Gladiator uniform that day. Hyder ended up stopping 25 of 30, but has been on his A game so far here today. Francis from the right wing pulls up and doesn't want to touch it. It's played with a high stick, and so referee seeing that neither side wanted to touch it, ends up just blowing the whistle. And we'll see a face-off to the left of Scholl. Speaking of Ryan Francis, feels like there's another level to his game that we haven't quite seen yet. Former 5th-round draft pick of the Calgary Flames back in 2020. Was acquired at the trade deadline by the Gladiators last year and is 1 goal away from 50 pro goals. Been sitting on 3 on the season so far this year. 13 points in 30 games for Francis. Playing on this third line now with Cipollone and Denemy. Feels like he's due for a breakout game. We'll see if today is the day. Greenville able to jolt it out the center. Between the legs pass from Peterson doesn't quite work out. Ends up turning it over to Nychuk on a slap-in. Nychuk outlets to Cipollone. Has some space to maneuver through the neutral zone. Cipollone centers, watch Francis hit the stick of Murray and goes into the far corner. Francis digs it out from there, moving in tandem with Cipollone. Francis has it back from the goal line, moves to his backhand. From the slot, turns and shoots. He scores! Ryan Francis goes top shelf, and the Gladiators draw first blood. But it hits Cipollone on the way. He's headed to the bench first. Nonetheless, the Gladiators take a 1-0 lead. And we've been waiting for those kind of plays from Ryan Francis this year. Cipollone in front of the net, raises his hand. It's mine. Cipollone redirects it. Francis did the heavy lifting. Cipollone able to get the last touch. It ends up going to number 71. Although for the Gladiators, you take them any way you can get them. And they score in the opening 2 minutes and 9 seconds of period 2. What a shot that was by Francis. I think that might have still ended up in the back of the net, whether or not Cipollone did touch it or not. As a shot by Sylvester goes to the slot. O'Brien in tight, kicked away by Scholl. Gladiators looking for more. O'Brien from the near corner, works behind the net, shifts to his forehand. O'Brien centers, Sylvester just skies it over the goal. Gladiators just inches away from taking a 2-0 lead. Now O'Hara rumbles down the left wing, pulls up in the corner, goes behind the net, shakes down Mateer, tries to drag it to the far side, and the Gladiators get him. They swipe the puck away to the left point, held in by Modry. Back to O'Hara in the left corner. He'll take a shot. Kick save, Hyder. Rebound comes to Nychuk. And Atlanta rolls out to Greenville ice. Walter takes a shot, blocker to the far wall by Scholl. It'll work its way to Sylvester on the near wall. Gets pinned up by Remy Parker, and we'll have our first penalty of the day. It is going to be holding. Yeah, it looks like the Gladiators are headed to the Eco-Electric power play for the first time today. Remy Parker gets caught for holding, and Atlanta has a chance to extend its lead to 2. In the pregame show, talked about this power play battle here today. Atlanta's power play operating at 18.4%, 16th best in the ECHL. Greenville's power play is woeful. We get to see that so far here today, worse in the league. But the real matchup is the penalty kills. Greenville's PK, top 10 unit, 84.4%, 9th best in the ECHL. Orzek takes it in at the line, finds Nolan right circle, drops it down deeper for Francis. Return to Nolan, and he scores! Ryan Nolan tickles the twine. Atlanta extends its lead to 2-0. This time it's Ryan Nolan hitting the back of the nets. Great setup to the inside part of the near circle. And number 24 has made it a 2-0 Atlanta lead. Nolan with his 9th goal of the season. Comes on the man advantage. Gladiators break their power play woes and take a 2-0 lead. Nolan from Francis and Orzek on the man advantage has the Gladiators up by 2. Burns from the left wing puts it to the front. Gladiators can't tip it in. Orzek goes crashing into the end wall. Peter Morgan from the near corner working with Burns. Tries to dig it off the outside. Picked up by Parker. Slid across the bracket from the right wing. Bounces to the inside. Takes a shot. Blocker save. Hyder. The rebound turned aside from Parker by Hyder as well. Now Nolan takes it up ice. Connects with Burns. He'll pelt it off the near wall and in. From the trapezoid. Scholl slows it down. Nolan got high sticked. And it looks like we're not going to get a penalty for that. Gladiators 1 for 1 on the power play so far here today. Mastrodonato moving up ice. Gets forced to the right wing. Puck is slid over to the near corner. Greenville keeps possession. O'Reilly darts towards the net. Forced to the outside. Will climb back up the near side wall and send the puck burrowing deeper. Mastrodonato up top for a slap shot by Modry. That goes wide. Parker Jones with a chance. Blocked in front by Young. He's feeling that a little bit. He'll chase it to the end wall. Creates a turnover. Goes to the slot dangerously. Able to fight away from O'Reilly. And the Gladiators keep possession. Young out to center now. Comes in on the right side. Leaves it for Cipolone. Cipolone from behind the net. Centers for Conroy. Off his stick. Couldn't get a shot away. Greenville forces to the line, but not out. Great keep by Cipolone. Young moving stride for stride. Gets sent to the far wall. Working there, the Gladiators slam it in deep. Modry checked hard by Cipolone. Jabs it up the wall for Francis. Spinning, has it taken away, and Greenville maneuvers out to center. Lino got the job done. He is shaken down. Cipolone, touch pass. Francis takes it in. From the near corner, Francis pivots to his backhand. Tries to shift away from Modry. He gets pinned up. Puck leaks free to O'Hara, and Greenville will escape. They float it down to the end wall. Mateer is there. Quick touch to Nychuk, and Atlanta look to scurry out. Denemy takes it to neutral ice, developing 3-on-2. O'Brien from the left wing centers for Mateer. Save made Scholl, and he makes another on Denemy for the second opportunity. Well, the Gladiators are buzzing now. They've got Greenville on their heels. Have taken a 2-0 lead with goals from Cipolone and Nolan. The latter coming on the power play, and they are looking for more. Gladiators are smelling blood. Here is Sylvester on the right wing. Couldn't keep the play in. Possession stays with Atlanta as Jarvis has it from the left wing. They'll send the puck barreling from corner to corner. Sylvester in hot pursuit, works with Walter for a centering feed, and they almost had another, but O'Brien's stick breaks. 3-on-2 up ice for the Swamp Rabbits. Cross ice feed goes into the near corner. Peterson a step behind, grabs it on the second chance. Quick touch, Poisson's got it, centers it in front, save Hyder, rebound is available, but not for long. Hyder's able to cover up, just 1 second shy of 7 minutes gone by in the second. And the Gladiators, who have taken a 2-0 lead, get a nice round of applause from their hometown crowd. Gladiators 2, Swamp Rabbits 0. We are back to Duluth after this.
Need to build a professional brand? Alpha Graphics delivers with stunning signage, graphics, and marketing materials that are exactly what you need to earn clients' trust. Alpha Graphics. Bring your brand to life.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you could win in, chirping, party. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders. Crispy, juicy, tendery tendies. Ooh, that's fun to say. Tendies, tendies, tendies. And they're so good, maybe we should change our... For tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
The Gladiators have taken control of this one. They have really grabbed the bull by the horns, so to speak, and taken control here on the country theme night from Gas South Arena. 2 goals here in the second period has them up by a pair. First one coming from Joey Cipolone from Ryan Francis. Second one coming from Nolan from Francis and Orzik on the power play to make it a 2-0 Atlanta lead. Ryan Francis with 2 assists has logged his 3rd multi-point game of the year. Gladiators chase it down to the end wall. 4th line working out there. Morgan on the forecheck, not enough. Greenville scuttles out the center. Poisson cross-ice feed into the body of Jarvis. Puck is whacked to the far wall where Scardina gets it to the line, but not out. Good keep by Poisson. Take a couple of kicks at it. Soccers it to Sheriff. He'll wire it down to the trapezoid where Peterson is cut off by Orzik. Puck is stripped free. Jarvis takes it up ice. He'll drift through center, weaving to his right. Finds Scardina for a shot off the mask of Scholl and out of play. And Scholl's going to give his noggin a bit of a check. Looks like he's good. 2:10 left in the second period. So it was kind of right on cue. Talked about Ryan Francis and wanted to see him take that next step in his game this season. Well, we saw it. In about a minute span, Gladiators score 2:03 into the period, or make that 2:09 into the period, and then end up scoring a little over a minute later. Mastrodonado with it deep in his own territory. Greenville down by 2. We'll see how they respond. Modry cross-ice feed over the stick of the intended target in O'Reilly. They'll race for it to the end wall. Puck hammered by Carabia. It'll drift to the right wing wall for a shot that goes wide. Now on the near side. They'll spin back into the corner. They'll jostle forward a bit. Spun up top to Modry from the left point. Serves it down low again. From the corner, back up top. Atlanta will just shovel it out the center. And Modry will track it down. Partial change for Atlanta. New line comes on. Meanwhile, Greenville tries to go up ice, but the pass is picked off by Carabia. Now at center circle, Cipollone, quick toss to Nolan. 2-on-1, Nolan fires! Save made! Denemy can't punch in the rebound. At the line, Nychuk a bomb, tipped in front, Cipollone diving, couldn't quite get it. Ends up going wide. Greenville still on their heels, trying to find a way out. They do propel it to center where it's gloved down by Polino, spinning like a turnstile. Just whacks it into the far corner as Nychuk is there to retrieve. He'll pass it to his right for Francis. He'll motor ahead. Francis knocks it into the near corner for Denemy. O'Hara spins it to the far wall. Nychuk keeps on the first clearing attempt. Second one gets out the center. Gladiators once again drive it back in, and this is what we talk about when we mean the Gladiators play a north style of game. This is it. They've been suffocating the Greenville Swamp Rabbits in their own zone for the majority of this period. They lead 2-0, and they lead the shot count 22-15 as the Swamp Rabbits ice the puck, and Greenville's going to have to spend a little bit more time in its own end of the ice. So, commonly on the Keys to the Game, presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda, with our head coach Matt Ginn, we hear Matt Ginn talk about playing a north style of game, which we just discussed here, and then playing fast and playing direct, and that is what we've seen here in this second period from the Gladiators, and it has made a difference. They're up by 2. O'Brien behind the net. Tries to backhand a centering feed for Walter, but that's intercepted by Murray. Outlets to O'Hara. Has some room. Cuts to the inside, but he is defended well by Orzek. Maybe a little too well. Orzek's going to get called for hooking as we head to the break. 9:55 to go in the second period. We're going to see this Greenville power play for the first time today, which means we're going to see the Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda penalty kill when we come back to Duluth after this.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous. Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Gladiators lead by 2. They score twice in the opening 4 minutes of the second period. 2 goals in 73 seconds for the Gladiators, but Greenville now on the man advantage. Look to cut into that lead. Gladiators on the Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda penalty kill for the first time today. As the puck works its way to the Gladiator end wall, Greenville keeps it alive. Hot puck in the corner. Nychuk's got a piece of it, but can't get it out. Cross-ice feed, open space for Level. Dangles behind the net, didn't shoot, had a chance, sets up a chance from the right circle, and Hyder snags it. 29 seconds into the PK. Well, what an odd decision there from Tim Lovell. Had really had Hyder moving from right to left in every which way, but didn't shoot the puck, was running out of real estate, had an opportunity to shoot it and didn't. Might be second-guessing that one now. This Gladiator penalty kill operating at 83.1%, 12th best in the ECHL. The Greenville power play did score last night, broke a 6-game scoreless streak on the power play, but 10.4%, not good at all. Worst statistical power play in the ECHL. Gladiators look to get the job done. Greenville comes in on the right side. Pass to the slot, makes its way to the corner. O'Reilly, quick exchange. They get it up top. Lovell to the right point for Sheriff. Fumbles it a bit, burrows his way deeper. Returns it to Lovell. Spinning, creates some separation from Denemy, and returns it to Sheriff at the line. They'll pitch it to his left for Berg, overskates a bit. Returns it to Sheriff quickly. From the left circle, dangles in tight. Sheriff to the goal. Stopped by Hyder. Greenville has the puck still. Berg drifting left from the circle. Doesn't shoot. Pulls up. Slaps it off the wall to O'Reilly. From the high slot, he'll shovel it down low. Lovell from the far corner. Drops it to the trapezoid for Polino. And they cycle back up top to Berg. Parker Berg distributes to Sheriff. High slot, feeding right. Save Hyder on the one-timer from Lovell. And Atlanta will clear. 15 seconds left on the penalty to Orzek. It's just about a job well done. Maybe one last chance for Greenville. Sheriff comes flying in. It's stopped in the far corner. Gladiators drive it up the wall. One last clear and a job well done for the Beaver Toyota and Mazda penalty kill. Atlanta's 1-for-1 on the power play and 1-for-1 on the PK as Greenville is back to full strength. Or as Atlanta's back to full strength. Young with a takeaway in the neutral zone. Delays to Nolan inside. Oh, what a stop by Scholl. Nolan looking for his second of the game is robbed by the glove of Scholl. Keeps it a 2-goal game with 7:38 left in the second. The Gladiators have just been wreaking havoc here in the second period. They've outshot the Swamp Rabbits 25-17 in this game and 10-6 here in the second period. Nychuk keeps it at the line, digs his way down the right wing and centers for a chance for Young. His stick breaks, does get tripped up. Not going to see a penalty here. From the goal line, Nolan keeps it alive. McNamee has it on the far wall. Young's got a new stick. Greenville takes a loose puck in and runs it out to center. Atkinson the carry. Passes to his right. Hausinger a shot over the net. Momentum carries out to center. About the third time here today we've seen a Gladiator stick break. And that one the most impactful as Polino loses an edge at his own blue line. Sylvester right over the bench like a hawk tried to steal it away. Swamp Rabbits able to hang on. Tactfully trying to start their next move. Ends up being a dump in and a line change, and Atlanta will handle. 6:40 left in the second period. Nychuk jolts it up to Walter. Swedish forward gains some steam. Here he goes. Walter down the middle. Snap shot blocked by Modry. Part of a broken stick in that area as well. Mastrodonato quickly up ice. Shot stopped by Hyder. And it looks like it was a skate blade that was shaken free. That belongs to Modry. Able to scuttle his way to the bench and climb off. And that blade is still out there in the near corner of the Greenville zone as Sylvester tries to knock it out the zone. Greenville ends up pushing deeper. Mastrodonato centering feed. Bounces to the high slot. They return it to him in the near corner. Mastrodonato up the wall at the point. Centers for Lovell. Drop pass on time. Parker Jones with a shot. And Hyder makes no mistake. He swallows it up and stops time with 5:46 left in the second. Gladiators lead by 2 with goals from Cipollone and Nolan. We are back to Duluth after a word from our local sponsors.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cool. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
More than just cookies.
Desserts now in rotation.
The Gladiators have come alive here in the second period. They score twice in 73 seconds in the first 4 minutes of the second period, taking a 2-0 lead, and that is where we sit at this moment. 5:46 left in the second. Face off to the left of Hyder. Get us going again. Gladiators win that face off. Carabia finds Francis, who has 2 assists in today's game. His 3rd multi-point game of the year, and doesn't seem like he's done yet. Greenville outlets, Peterson on the right side, centering feed, nobody home. From the left wing, Poisson wraps it around the boards in hopes of finding Peterson. Then he got nothing but Dylan Carabia. Gladiators dig it free. Here is Conroy. Yale product finds Francis on the right wing, grinds to a halt, centers for Denemy, shot, hits a body, and goes into the near corner. Denemy from there has some space, centers, hits the skate and comes to Francis. A go around the net to the left circle. Cross-ice feed on time for Conroy. And his shot is gloved up by Scholl with 5:01 left in the middle frame. Well, boy, has that line been buzzing here today for the Gladiators. Cipollone, Denemy, Francis. They almost combined for another one. Head off to the bench. Scardina and that 4th line comes on. Face off to the left of Scholl, and Atlanta's one another. Scardina swipes it to Burns below the right circle. Gets taken to the corner. Spun off the puck. Murray working there. Tries to get it out. Rolls up to Berg. Chips it to the neutral zone. Off the wall. Brackett tries to reel it in, but Nychuk defends him smartly and well and takes it up to the neutral zone. Nychuk dumps it in, off the wall. Morgan's got it, using his speed to his advantage. Morgan cycles up top for Nychuk. He'll ladle it down low for Scardina. Burns in the area as well. Makes his way to the circle and shoots. High riser out of play with 4:21 on the clock. Everything that I said about that 3rd line, I can say about that 4th line too. They've been playing really well. Burns, Morgan, Scardina, really like that trio. And talked about it in the first intermission report. Really feels like for the Gladiators, give this group some time. Right now that they've got most of their personnel back, feels like this is the group that is going to get them to the postseason. And give some time to gel. Get some newcomers, Orzek, O'Brien, and Walter returning after a bit of an absence up in Milwaukee. But mark my words, after a little bit of time and this team gets back to full strength in terms of chemistry, look out. And we saw it earlier in the year. From the red line, bodies come together. McNamee able to spring it back to Mateer. D to D, Nychuk has it, slots it into the attacking zone. Wanted Nolan, no icing. Goes to the end wall, McNamee back to Nolan in the corner. Puck hops over his stick, and that play will come to an end. Greenville weaves out to center. Gladiators bottle him up. Here is Mateer, the former draft pick of Nashville, to shimmy it out to center. O'Hara tries to breeze by him, but Nychuk working well with his D partner. Scoops it out of the corner, relays it to the neutral zone for McNamee. Shift it down to Scholl. He'll come out to play it. First line back out on the ice as Sylvester hops over the boards. Nolan and Young head off to complete the line change. Orzek pushes left, on time for O'Brien, tries to cut to the inside part of the ice. Ends up getting knocked off his stick. Greenville with control with 3:10 left in the second. On the run is Polino. Floats it into the near corner. It'll skip onto the stick of Orzek. Roll out to the left wing. Drop pass for Jarvis. Gladiators going to wait this one out, get a lay of the land. Greenville setting up in a 1-2-2 here. Mastrodonado, the forechecker. O'Brien through the neutral zone, moves down the right wing and shoots just wide of Scholl. They'll pop it up to the line. Jarvis fires into traffic. That is blocked by Lovell and held in at the line by Sylvester. The captain spinning. He's able to shrug off Lovell. Quick exchange to Walter. Back to Sylvester. Puck pinballs off the wall in between the circles and is snatched up by Atkinson, the former Gladiator, over the attacking line. Has O'Brien, or make that O'Reilly. A lot of O's between these two teams as he cuts to the inside and is boxed off the puck. Atlanta back up ice. Francis cross ice for Sylvester. His shot kicked off the pad of Scholl. At the line, Carabia keeps the play alive. Francis drifting right, has some space. Francis fires, saves Scholl. The rebound was loose. Greenville floats it out to center. Francis on the back check, keeps it away from Sheriff. Stretch pass on the money for Cipollone. The crowd can feel it, drops it off for Denemy. He scores! Oh, what a play! Denemy makes it 3-0. You could almost feel the crowd gasp. They saw that play develop in real time. Cipollone to Denemy to the back of the net, and it's a 3-goal Gladiator lead. Three goals from three different goal scorers here in the middle frame for Atlanta. Has them up by a trio with 1:47 to go in the second period. Greenville tries to weasel their way in deep. From the far corner, Atlanta takes it away. Mickey Burns into action from the left wing. Jabs it down deeper. Players converge at the end wall. Burns able to shrug off Murray. He'll get pinned up in the far corner. Scardino wants to help out. Poking at it, probing, able to dig it free. Gets it to the line. Conroy sidesteps, works his way to the goal line and centers. Morgan in front. Couldn't tip it in. Penalty on the Gladiators. Ends their run of momentum. 1:06 to go in the second period. Looks like Scardino's going to sit. Francis gets the secondary assist on the goal from Carson Denemy. 3-point day for Ryan Francis. 2 points for Cipollone, a goal and an assist. And Carson Denemy gets in on the fun as Denemy earns goal number 4 on the campaign. Denemy now up to 10 points on the year. Cipollone with a pair here today. 8 goals and 8 assists in 31 games. And Ryan Francis, 3 goals, 13 assists, 16 points in 31 games on the campaign. Scardina in the box, face off to the left of Hyder. Gladiators win that face off and mail it all the way down for a clear. Atlanta 1 for 1 on the PK so far today, as they look to go 2 for 2. What has been a big second period here for this Gladiators team. Greenville will look to end their 3-goal run. Polino jabs it to the line for Atkinson. He'll shoot into traffic. No problem for Hyder. Sees it all the way through. Hangs on with 41.2 to go in the second. Face off on the near circle. Polino will take this against Cipollone. Big weekend. Big day for this second line. Make that this third line for the Gladiators. As O'Hara, off the face-off victory, knocks it to Atkinson from the left wing. Mastrodonado rolls it back up to the line. Atkinson again, fires, save Hyder. Hausinger on the doorstep. Shut down by Hyder for now. Puck leaps into the belly of Hyder, and he will freeze it with 26 to go. So far, so good for this Gladiators penalty kill. Scardina in the box for interference. Still 1:20 left on his sentence, and this might carry over to the third period. Greenville hoping that's not the case. They're trying to score now. Mastrodonado does score. It's a power play goal for Mastrodonato. 17.6 to go in the second period, and Greenville makes it a 3-1 game. And so that's power play goals in back-to-back games for Greenville. Rare occurrence. It's the maestro, and his symphony continues to sing. Keaton Mastrodonato had 2 assists last night. That was a goal here today on the power play to make it a 3-1 game, his 9th of the year. As Greenville on the board for the first time today. Puck rolls in on Hyder. Makes the stop with 11 seconds left. Coming up next, the second intermission report will be rejoined by Shelby Rabideau to break down the first 2 periods. Look ahead to period 3. And a whole lot more on the second intermission report. Walter weaves out to center. Time running out. And the second period comes to a close. 3-goal period for the Gladiators. Has them up 3-1. They score twice in 73 seconds. First from Cipollone, that tip in from Francis. Second on the power play goal from Ryan Nolan, from Francis and Orzek. And then another with 1:47 left in the second. Denemy from Cipollone and Francis before Keaton Mastrodonato scores on the power play for Greenville with 17.6 to go in the second. Gladiators lead by a pair. Break it all down on the second intermission report. But so far, so good for Atlanta. They lead 3-1 and have outshot Greenville 31-23. We'll step aside here before the second intermission report. Atlanta 3, Greenville 1. We are back after this.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 piggy bag. So how could he spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track.
We don't just straighten you out, we empower you. We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Welcome back to Gas South Arena. Shelby Rabideau here with Guy Chiarenza. And it is the second intermission, and we are going to be talking about everything that happened in that first period. But first, let's check in with that scores. Atlanta Gladiators 3 with 31 shots on goal. Greenville Swamp Rabbits 1 with 23 shots on goal. And now, this was an electric second period, super exciting. And honestly, I think, Guy, you kind of put that like, what's the word? Like, you put this energy in the air with Ryan Francis, because you kind of said at the beginning of the period that you thought that he was going to have a great day today. And what do you know? He scored first. And you know what? That was my guess, but you didn't let me guess.
I mean, what can I say? You can almost feel it coming. No, it's one of those things where, it felt like he was due, and it's been that way for a few games now. And for Francis this season, it feels like it was only a matter of time before he was able to take that next big step and really have that big game and just get his confidence back, get him rolling, get him on the stat sheet. Well, this has been it. And I remember saying before that first goal from the Gladiators, feels like it's a Ryan Francis kind of game. It could be the day here today. And sure enough, ends up taking that shot that gets tipped in by Cipollone. And then the Gladiators score 73 seconds later, and he's right back in the thick of it. Ryan Francis to set up Ryan Nolan. And so the Gladiators now are finally getting what they need out of that third line. And so there have been points in the season where, we talked about it in the first period, or the first intermission report, where your superstars need to kind of lead the way. Here today, it's been the Gladiators' depth that has been showing out and is the reason why they're up by 2.
You want to break down those goals for us?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, look to that first goal from Francis. He's a very shifty and elusive player. And this is a guy that when he's got the puck on his stick, you can tell. I mean, he is probably the best skater on the ice between both teams, and it shows. When he's got it, he's just got such good footwork, able to hang on to the puck so well. And what's working for him here today is he's making all the right decisions with the puck. At times this year, he's been bounced off the puck, he's turned it over, has lost a hand on it, kind of out-juked himself. Not today. And so today he is able to kind of meander his way up to the near circle, take a shot on the inside part of it, and rips it home and ends up getting tipped by Joey Cipollone, who immediately after the goal put his hand up saying, I touched it, it was me. But I think either way, whether he touched it or not, and I do believe he did, whether or not he did or didn't touch it, I still think that puck is probably going into the back of the net because it was just that good of a shot. But that's exactly what the Gladiators had needed, because it felt like last night they weren't getting those kind of breaks. They weren't getting those tips, those deflections that end up going to goals. And so for them, it had to be a sigh of relief to see a goal like that go in. And then he worked her way to the power play on the second goal. Again, good puck rotation. You can kind of feel it coming. They work it to Nolan. Quick shot into the back of the net. He's able to score to make it a 2-0 game. And then my favorite out of the 3 so far here tonight is the setup from Cipollone to Denemy. Gladiators moving in transition. And this game had kind of been blown open a little bit to that point. A lot of speed being added into this game. A lot of transition plays. Cipollone up ice, who's having a great game. Goal and assist here today for him. He is able to quickly just touch it, set it up for Denemy, and I remember feeling it that in that moment, once the Gladiators stretched up the ice for Cipollone to set up the play, it really felt like the crowd kind of just went, oh, and they knew something was about to happen. He sets it up for Denemy, he buries it, and the Gladiators had a 3-0 lead. Almost a perfect period for Atlanta, except Greenville is able to score that power play goal with 17 seconds left in the period. And it should be no surprise that it is Keaton Mastrodonato, the maestro, as my good friend Tyson Whiting used to call him back when he was with the Utah Grizzlies. Well, the Maestro Symphony has been singing, and he gets on the board again here today. Had 2 assists last night. It's a good shot for Greenville, and it really felt like if they were going to have success on that penalty or that power play at the end of the period, they were going to have to score before it carried over to period 3. And it ends up being that Mastrodonato has some space on the far circle, kind of cuts to the inside, picks a good spot, and ends up scoring for Greenville's first of the day. But I think the key point here today for the Gladiators was that they were able to score first. Good defensive first period from Atlanta. That's been their A game. Talked about it, Shelby. The offense kind of flows as the game goes on. Saw here the big second period. Atlanta this season, when scoring first, is 17-2. So they're pretty good when they score the first goal of the game. They know how to hold a lead. So far, so good for the Gladiators.
And I know in your game notes as well, the third period is the period where they tend to score the most as well.
Yeah, the third period for this season for the Gladiators has been their best scoring period. Now the Gladiators, though, inching closer in that regard when it comes to the second period. The 3 second period goals, they've now scored 32 second period goals. They have 33 in third periods this season. And over the last few weeks, it's felt like that early on in the season, the third period was the Gladiators' best scoring period, and it still is. They do a good job of scoring in the third, but it feels like as of late, they've gotten better about scoring in the second period and creating a bit of a second period surge to the finish where if they're not leading games at that point, they take the lead and they take control of the game. Look for more of that here in the third period, especially with the 2-goal lead.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that third line again. There was a lot of chances for them to score apart from the 3 goals that they got. So I want to talk about that. What do you think from them? What do you think is working?
Well, it seems like every time that this line comes onto the ice, it's noticeable. I mean, these three are just playing with a hop in their step here today. Carson Denemy, Joey Cipollone, Ryan Francis. That has been the money line for the Gladiators here today, and they factored in at least one of them on every single goal so far today for the Gladiators. And I think what's working for them here today is using their skill sets to their advantage. Ryan Francis with the speed. You look at Carson Denemy, who's able to finish those plays along the boards, win those gritty areas. And Joey Cipollone, kind of the brains of the operation, the centerman, just kind of leading the charge, making smart plays with the puck and setting up chances for Francis and Denemy, which we've seen a couple of times so far in this game, result in goals. I think all of those three are using their skills to their advantage, and they're playing with confidence. Again, staying the course. And that is why the Gladiators are up 3-1 here at the end of the second period.
I was about to bring up confidence because I also talked to Carson Denemy on Thursday during one of the practices, and he said that the reason that he feels he's been doing so well these past couple games is his confidence. He's been playing with confidence and his line mates as well, but I feel like everyone today on that ice has been playing with confidence, and it's really showing in that second period.
Yeah, Carson Denemy had a big weekend a few weekends ago. Ended up having a goal and 2 assists in a few games, and now with the goal here today, Denemy now up to 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 6, which has been his best stretch, I should say, of the season so far. And so, it feels like those depth guys for the Gladiators here at this stage in the season are starting to heat up. A game like this is exactly what you want to see. It's always great to see your big name guys show out. Sylvester, Walter, O'Brien, Nychuk, and the like. But when you get guys kind of down the lineup scoring, that bodes well because it means that any given time you've got a weapon on the ice that can score for you. And that's a good sight to see, especially when you've got teams like South Carolina coming up on the schedule and Florida on the schedule. Gladiators are going to need a whole lot more of this during their big road trip at the end of January.
Well, I know that I'm looking forward to this third period. And before we talk about what we want to see, I have another question. And that is, what is our favorite country song? So in the first intermission, I asked what everyone's favorite country artist is, but what is your favorite song? So when we come back after the break, we'll get down into what we want to see for the third period, but also talk more country because it is Frosty Boots and Country Roots here at Gas South. So right now our score is 3 for your Atlanta Gladiators, 1 for Greenville Swamp Rabbits. We'll see you after the break.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you could win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Need to build a professional brand? Alpha Graphics delivers with stunning signage, graphics, and marketing materials that are exactly what you need to earn clients' trust. Alpha Graphics. Bring your brand to life.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous.
Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Welcome back to Gas South Arena. Shelby Rabideau here with Guy Chiarenza. We're going to be breaking down what we want to see in this third period, but first our scores. Atlanta Gladiators 31 shots on goal. Greenville Swamp Rabbits 1 with 23 shots on goal. Now before we headed into the break, I mentioned our question of the intermission, and that is, what is your favorite country song? So if you have a favorite country song, let us know in the chat, and we will answer ours after we talk about what we want to see for the third period. So, you want to take it away? What do you want to see from the Gladiators?
It's going to sound cliche, but Matt Ginn said it best himself. Stay the course. First key of the game, it's been working for him. Stay the course. Gladiators did not waver after a scoreless first period. Got right back to their A game in the second period, got 3 goals out of it. Stay the course. More of the same. Keep it flowing for the Gladiators here in the third.
Keep that momentum up, and I'm sure we'll have a very entertaining, exciting third period, especially with the fans. They are something else.
This has been a great crowd.
Yeah, it's been great. So you want to tell me your favorite country song? Did you have time to think about it?
I'm really not a big country guy, and I did mention Johnny Lee earlier in the broadcast.
I don't know.
I did.
He doesn't have it with him, but he has a country hat.
I did spend. I have 2 of them actually. I spent 2 years in Texas. Shout out to Amarillo, great city, Amarillo, Texas. I did mention Johnny Lee earlier. I do like a lot of his songs, but this one goes out to Alex Bennett, manager of ticket sales. Just about every day in our office, plays 7 Summers. Morgan Wallen, Song of the Summer. Song of the Summer. Alex Bennett, that one's for you. I think he's got a good case for Manager of Ticket Sales of the Year. I think he's doing a great job this year. So shout out to AB. He got me hooked on 7 Summers. I'm going to go with that.
I got to go with Taylor Swift. Old school Taylor Swift, Picture to Burn. Honestly, great song. Great, like if you got to, scream at the top of your lungs in your car and you're angry, that's a good one.
Can't say I've ever been there before.
Well,
at least not screaming Taylor Swift in my car, but
maybe sometime soon.
Maybe. Take a look at the YouTube live chat and see what everybody else has got going on as far as their answers. Looks like Stadium Arena is a fan of Toby Keith, and he actually has a question for you, Shelby. He says, Shelby, who is your favorite Ottawa Senators player?
Oh, I'm gonna have to think about that one. I really.
Well, we only have a few more minutes before the end of the intermission report. You're gonna have to figure it out soon.
I will before the end. But you bring up Toby Keith. My mom loved Toby Keith, and I will always feel really bad because I was like so young, and we went to a Toby Keith concert. And when you see an artist, you want to obviously watch them. But I was like 6 years old, and I was like, Mom, I gotta go. And she was like, okay. And I feel so bad. She got to miss her favorite artist, Toby Keith.
That's funny. Yeah, rest in peace to the legend, Toby Keith.
He had some good songs. I remember,
You did.
My mom playing them a lot growing up to school. Trying to think of I Ain't As Good As I Once Was.
I think that might be one of his. I'm not a country guy. I'm not sure. Now, if we had like a classic rock and roll night, then I'm your guy. That's what I listen to a lot. I listen to a lot of Kiss lately. My dad got me on some Kiss recently. Okay. Led Zeppelin, Def Leppard, all the like. But I'm not a country guy. I don't come from that part of the country. I was in it for a little bit in Texas, and now down here. But so I'm learning, but I don't have that ball knowledge, unfortunately. I just don't.
It's okay. I'm not a country gal. I can't put on the cowboy boots. I can't wear the hat, but maybe a little bit of accent.
All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Well, looks like we're getting back out on the ice here for the third period. So, Guy will see you at the top of the break with a play-by-play of the third period. Right now, it is 3 for Atlanta Gladiators and 1 for the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. We'll see you at the top of the break.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you, satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
from the Gladiators and the Swamp Rabbits as we are set for the third period here in Duluth. No score after one, but got one after the second. The Gladiators lead the Swamp Rabbits 3-1. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. Atlanta looking to close this one out after a big second period from their third line. A goal from Denemy, a goal and assist from Cipollone, and 3 assists from Francis has given Atlanta a 3-1 lead. They center for Nolan. Out in front is McNamee. He shoots, save made Scholl, and the rebound swept away by the Greenville defense. Great start to the third for the Gladiators, not backing down at all. Here is Young from the left wing, pulls up at the circle, tries to dangle in front, but gets shoved off it by Atkinson. On the trapezoid, Nolan tries to keep it moving. Greenville able to squirm out the center. Nychuk hauls it in, goes right back up to Young on the entry. Will drift off his stick, Greenville with it. Still in the opening minute of the third. Francis from neutral ice, motors into action. On his forehand, flings it across. Mateer on time, tried to out-deke 2 Swamp Rabbits. Didn't quite go his way. Hausinger on the left wing. Loses the puck to Nychuk. From behind Hyder, whirls it to Denemy. From the near board, springs it up to Cipollone. Gets boxed off it by Berg at the red line. Contested puck at center circle, reeled in by O'Hara. And he will head off to the bench as on comes Dante Sheriff. He's got it now. Running down the right wing, Sheriff pelts it by Hyder over to the far wall. Peterson on his forehand, drops it down low to Polino. Checked hard by Jarvis, and Hyder's lost his stick. It's behind him as Jarvis clears up to Walter. Touch pass, O'Brien can't carry it out. Sheriff was there on the forecheck. Hyder still without his stick. Again, the Gladiators will try to rotate to the near side and get out. Sylvester hoists it to the neutral zone, and now Hyder has retrieved his stick. Peterson wants Poisson on the right wing. Orzik decked him, so Conroy will be able to hunt it down behind Hyder. Ryan Conroy, first year with the Gladiators after being acquired in a trade over the summer with the Adirondack Thunder. We will see Adirondack very soon on Valentine's Day. 3-game set. Make sure you get your tickets for that exciting matchup against the Thunder. As the Valentine's Day game is the Teddy Bear Toss game presented by Beaver Toyota Mazda. Here is Brackett moving in tight, trips up Carabia, but we play on. Puck goes to the corner. They center it up high from the line. Lovell fires. Save made in front. Conroy blocked it. Ends up going to the end wall. From there, makes its way to Brackett from the left circle, puts it up top to Atkinson. Gains the circle, goes across, Parker shoots, Hyder shoulder save, keeps it out, puck goes to the near corner. Atkinson with it from the half wall. Floats it to the line, offline for Murray. Greenville forced to retreat out the center. Atkinson floats it to Murphy, who comes right back in. Murphy to the goal. Stood up by Carabia. Dylan Carabia tells Wade Murphy to take a seat. Puck rolls in on Hyder. He freezes it. 3:22 into the third. It's been so great to have Dylan Carabia back in the lineup. 10th game of the season for Carabia. Rejoined the Gladiators during the Utah road trip after missing the first 20 games or so of the season due to an injury. And a bit of a wait, but well worth it. Great defensive play there. Face off to the right of Hyder. Scardino wins it. 4th line on the ice for the Gladiators. Nychuk and Mateer, the 2 D-men, roll it out to center. Morgan quickly to Burns. From the right wing, pulls up, centers. Ends up hitting Scholl and goes wide. Scardina to the trapezoid, on the money for Burns. Skates it up to the left wing, exchanges with Nychuk. Digging in tight, Nychuk to the goal. Bouncing puck, taken away by Murray. We'll move it up ice in tandem with O'Reilly. From the right wing, O'Reilly will go behind the net. On his forehand, keeps his eyes looking across, finds Berg for a slapper. Steered away by the stick of Hyder, puck will go behind the cage. Mastrodonato on the forehead. He gets it to the line. Blast from there, wide of the mark. Rebound comes to Murray. In the right corner, spins to his forehand. Backhands it to Hausinger deeper. Cam Hausinger. Defended well by Mateer. They go crashing into the boards as O'Hara able to weasel away. Pushes it to the line. Berg a shot. Wide of the mark. Rebound to Hausinger. And robbery made by Hyder. Oh, what a stop on Hausinger. Somehow, some way, from right to left, Hyder is able to make the stop. Ethan Hyder, take a bow. No dangerous player on the ice than Cam Hausinger, 38 and white for Greenville. 10 goals, 10 assists, 20 points in 32 games, and 9 of those points have come in his last 7 games for a point streak. And Ethan Hyder says, not today. Lovell off the face-off victory. Steers it behind the cage to the left wing. Creeping in is Atkinson, able to pull back. Spinning away from Scardina. Backhands it to Polino from the blue line. Wires a shot on goal. It's fought off by Hyder. Back to the line. Cross ice they go. Lovell from the right point. Tries to sachet by Burns. Diving, tried to center. Hits Scardina. Goes to the near corner. A pile-up. Converges there. Mateer right in the thick of it. Tries to peel the puck away. Comes to the line. Lovell. Drifting left. Pressured by Burns. Distributes to Polino from the left circle. Polino on his forehead. Climbs up the wall to the line. Moving right. Takes a shot. In traffic. Gets blocked. Lovell with the rebound. Centers. Pinballs around even more. And Burns will skate it free. One-on-one at center ice. Atkinson makes the defensive stand. Greenville right back in. Atkinson delays. Centers for O'Hara. Shot just goes wide on the near side. This is the best Greenville's looked offensively all night long. As they put another shot wide of Hyder. Sheriff tries to touch it inside for Poisson. Gladiators sniff that out, but can't exit the zone. Puck will roll in on Hyder. He puts a hand on it. 13:57 left in the third. Greenville trying to claw their way back, but the Gladiators still in control. Atlanta leads 3-1 when we come back to Duluth after this.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you. Satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Greenville pressuring here in the third period, but got to have a goal from it. All scoring in this game has come in the second period. Atlanta with goals from Cipollone, Nolan, and Denemy. There's a 3-1 lead. Lone Greenville goal came on the power play with 17 seconds left in the second. Swamp Rabbits pushing, trying to tie the game. Not shooting the Gladiators 5-2 in the third. Sheriff gets spilled at the Gladiator goal line by Young. Greenville keeps the puck, though. Poisson climbs up the wall, distributes deeper to Sheriff. Pass to the line, shot by Modry, fought off by Hyder. Nolan pumps it out to center. McNamee tries to haul it in, but has a little bit of trouble doing so. On the forecheck, creates a turnover, sets up Nolan on the left wing. Nolan turns and shoots into the gullet of Scholl, and he freezes. 13:17 on the clock, and a little bit of nastiness afterwards. Pleasantries exchanged here in the third period on a Sunday afternoon in Duluth. This is the middle game of a 3-3 between these two clubs. Last night belonged to Greenville. Gladiators in control in this one. And then tomorrow, get it all one last time before the Gladiators head off on their 7-game road trip to end the month as the Gladiators host the Swamp Rabbits for the final game of the 3-3. 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Call it a 12:50 pregame show here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. And what will be our sensory-friendly game here at Gas South Arena. If you don't already have your tickets, make sure you got them at atlantagladiators.com. Greenville wins the defensive zone face-off, showing some urgency here in the third period, but yet to score for a second time on Hyder. In the far corner, Francis squirms away from the pressure, connects with Denemy, who leaves it for Cipolone. Weaves his way ahead, pounds the puck into the near corner. Francis meets it there. Francis sets up Mateer. Shot from the line, blocked by O'Reilly. Rebound comes to Cipolone. He'll swipe it down lower. Francis from the corner, centers, in front, Denemy, turning, shooting just high and wide. Up and over the head of Scholl. Play rolls on. Good read by Francis, knocks it into the near corner. Quick chip to the far corner, nobody there, but Cipolone will apply some heat. Swamp Rabbits start their next breakout. Right down the middle is Hausinger. Snap shot off the stick of Nychuk and wide. Rebound hits the end wall. Comes to Hyder, who covers with 12:14 to go in the third. Gladiators out shooting the Swamp Rabbits 35-28. Greenville wins another face-off level. Moving left, takes a shot. Wanted to tip, but did not get it. Conroy sweeps it to the outside. Walter from the right wing moves to Sylvester in stride. Wrap it around the boards to the trapezoid, played by Scholl. Out to the Greenville line. Up ahead, they connect. Atkinson over the attacking line. This is planned thwarted by Carabia. Walter now snags it in the neutral zone, and away he goes. Walter using the speed to the net, and it's stopped by Scholl, but do have a delayed penalty. Carabia to Conroy in the left corner. It's checked off the puck by Hausinger. Greenville touches up just as Hyder made his way to the bench. And the Gladiators will head to the Eco-Electric power play with 11:32 to go in the third. Gladiators 1 for 1 on the man advantage so far today. This is their second opportunity, but to go 2 for 2 and extend their lead to 3 for the second time today. Ryan O'Hara in the box for Greenville. Face-off will be to the left of Scholl. Gladiators sending out the second power play unit to start. Cipolone, Francis, Nolan, Orzek, and Mateer. Holding the call on O'Hara. Francis from the right corner. Moves to the backhand and slides it to the point for Orzek. Cross ice has Mateer. From the left circle, Mateer pulls back. Returns it to Orzek for a shot that's fought off by Scholl. Mateer now on the left wing again. Scans the ice. Distributes to the goal line. Takes the return feed and shoots. Scholl makes the save and the rebound. Leaps over the stick of Cipolone. And Greenville will clear. Good start to the power play for the Gladiators. See if they can get something going on their second entry. Here is Francis barreling down the right wing. Trying to touch it to the inside for a trailer, but Greenville sniffs that out. They dump it down. Hyder to play it from the near corner. Backhands it around to Orzek, and the Gladiators will start to break out again. Finds an avenue ahead. Walter on the run. Pulls up. Moves to his forehand. Strong on it. Able to knock it to Young. Young centers. Walter fires. Save made. Scholl. The rebound. Pushed up top to Sylvester. Has Nychuk on the left wing. From low to high they go. Young fires. Save made. The rebound from O'Brien is blocked and cleared. 34 seconds left On the penalty to O'Hara. O'Brien in on the left wing, steers it to the trapezoid. Atkinson is there for Greenville, caught in a pickle. Gladiators get the puck back. O'Brien quickly up the wall to Nychuk. From the left wing, feeds it inside. Young with room from the right circle. Centers now. Shot goes wide. Momentum carries it to the left point. 7 seconds left on the power play. Nychuk drifting right, looking for Sylvester. He's got him. Back to Nychuk. A bomb, kick, save, rebound. Oh, what a stop by Scholl! Gets across from right to left to keep it out on the second chance. Greenville back to even strength. Still down by 2. Looking for something. From the left point, Polino has it. Pressured by Scardina. Forced out to center. The muscle from Scardina. Too much for Polino to handle. O'Hara comes in on the right side. Pushed along the boards by Corabia. He and Scardina dig for the puck, and they've got it. They connect with Jarvis, who finds Corabia. Gladiators enter on the left wing as they chip it to the near corner. Berg there for Greenville. Swamp Rabbits roll out to center. Hausinger at the Gladiator blue line. Drifts it down deep to the trapezoid. Springs back up the wall to the point. Burns forces out the center, and he's got it on the run. Mickey Burns pulls up, looking for some reinforcements. Drives it deeper for Scardina. Nifty move on the forehand. Tried to cut to the blue paint, but ends up getting whacked off his stick and sent to the near half wall. Greenville able to yank it out of there. 8:04 left in the third period. Motoring ahead is Poisson. Tried to split 3 Gladiators. Unsuccessful in that attempt. Greenville dumps it down and turns it over. Under 8 minutes left in the third. Nychuk quickly chips it to Denemy. Away from the intended target. Onto the tape of Lovell. Backpedaling deeper. Good pressure by Francis. Greenville able to control as they move it back to Lovell. He'll weave his way through the neutral zone. Dispose of it to the right wing for Parker. Corabia slaps it over to Francis in the far corner from open space. Chips it ahead. Intercepted by Brackett. He'll fire. Blocked by Corabia. At the back of his calf. Ends up going to the outside from the far wall. Denemy tries to snag a bouncing puck. Able to corral it. Locate Cipollone. Jolted out to center. Greenville will try and barge right back in. Corabia and Atkinson jostle in the near corner. Joining the fray is O'Reilly and Denemy. Puck leaks free. Cipollone's got it. He'll clank it off the near wall. Snagged up by Mastrodonato. 6:43 to go in period 3. Greenville trying to mount the comeback. Murphy wires it around to the left wing for O'Reilly. Over skates. Miscue there for Greenville. They're forced to retreat. Murray can't reel in a pass. Young's going to put some heat on him, and in hot pursuit takes the puck away. In the near corner, Alex Young doing the dirty work finds Nolan. Nolan inside, puts it in front. Bouncing puck, just wouldn't go. McNamee was waiting backdoors the bumper, but just could not find a way to get the last touch on the puck. Now Jarvis wires one into the belly of Scholl. He'll hang on with 6:01 left in the third. There is Seven Summers. Shout out to Alex Bennett, manager of ticket sales. Gladiators on their way to potentially their 22nd win of the season. 6:01 remaining in regulation. Atlanta up by 2.
More than just cookies.
Desserts now in rotation.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
Kind of feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 piggy bag. So how could he spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
6:01 left in the third period. Gladiators win an offensive zone faceoff. Here is Nychuk with the shot, gobbled up by Scholl. 5:56 to go, and yep, that's another timeout. 6:01 on our last time out, just barely hit that mark, and 5 seconds of game time later, we hit it again. Cue the commercials. Gladiators lead 3-1.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cool. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in, and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand of gear you could win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Need to build a professional brand? Alpha Graphics delivers with stunning signage, graphics, and marketing materials that are exactly what...
Back to live action. Gladiators pressuring. Here's a steal. Walter to the goal. Swept away by Scholl. They hang on to it. Waiting back door is O'Brien. Puck scrubbed off of his stick by the Swamp Rabbits. They roll out to center. O'Hara on his forehands. Working hard on the wall, but Mateer is stronger. Jack Mateer standing at 6'6", 205. Able to outmuscle that one. Greenville keeps it alive, though, from the right wing. Berg digging deeper, cuts to the inside, and Mateer is there again. Mateer has been a driving force for the Gladiators defensively on this shift as Greenville tries to pressure. 5 minutes left in the third period. Polino swerving down deep, exchangers with Atkinson. Puck wobbles off of his stick thanks to O'Brien. Shot put on goal, fought off by Hyder. Good attempt from Hausinger, but not enough. Gladiators wheel it out to center. Now Walter weaving, able to sidestep some Swamp Rabbits, shave off some more time, and Jarvis will leak it into the near corner with 4:32 left on the game clock. Morgan, driving down the right wing, pulls up in the corner, looks to center, intercepted, intended for Scardina. Sheriff glides up ice, stops at the point, off the left wing wall has Poisson, he'll center, broken up by Scardina, makes its way to Peterson backdoor. Gladiators in a scramble, push it to the line. Parker Jones rips a shot from there, that gets blocked by Burns and tumbles into the near corner. Peterson is there, shoved off of it by Scardina. Gladiators clear off the glass and out to center. 3:50 to go. Scardina forces a turnover on the forecheck. Great job here by Scardina. Shaving off some more time and putting some pressure on the Swamp Rabbits. Now we get a whistle here. We're going to get a penalty. And it's going against Scardina. Oh, I don't know about that one, but we'll give the referees the benefit of the doubt. They make the call, and Greenville's going to go to the power play with 3:36 left in the third period. And we'll see a face-off to the left of Ethan Hyder. So Greenville 1 for 2 in the power play so far in today's game. Trying to make this one interesting down the stretch. 3:36 left in the third period. Scardina in the box. Face-off won by the Gladiators and immediately shoveled down by Denemy. And left by Scholl for Atkinson. Feels like this is a big-time moment for Greenville. Feels like they almost have to score on this to make it a game. So far, it's been all Gladiators. They shut them down on their latest zone entry. Mateer with the clear. He'll head off. 2 fresh Gladiators come on in Carabia and Conroy. So Nardina gets called for holding. That's why the Swamp Rabbits are on the power play. Gladiators to the Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda. Penalty kill. Mastrodonado across to Atkinson from the left wing. He'll make his way to the corner. Off to the bench is Scholl. 6-on-4 for Greenville with the net empty. Mastrodonado to Polino from the high slot. Leaves it for Atkinson. Almost swept the puck out of the zone. They hang on, though, for a shot from the left circle. Gets deflected wide. Now Mastrodonado distributes to the line. Atkinson fakes. Drives it down low. Wanted a slap pass there, but Gladiators break it up. Rip it towards the empty net. Comes out the center, but it's flagged down by the glove of Atkinson. Greenville bangs it back in. From the near corner, Conroy chips it to Cipollone. Greenville hustling, weaves it to the left wing for Polino. 2:09 left in the third, 32 seconds left on the penalty to Scardina. O'Reilly from the corner, cuts to the slot, broken up by Conroy, and pumped back out to the neutral zone. Good play by Cipollone. Shut down the entry from Lovell. Forced to drive it in. The Scardina comes out of the box. Bouncing puck corralled by Cipollone. Tried to hammer it out. Comes to center. Lovell's got it at the red line. 1:28 to go in the third. Berg slams it down to the trapezoid. Bodies come together there. Denemy pins it up against the near side corner wall. Clock continues to drain. Basson drives the net. Shut down by Carabia. Nolan with it. Chips it to center, but he won't get around to Swamp Rabbits to get a crack at the empty cage. Berg comes barging right back in. Slams it down to the trapezoid. There is Peterson. Able to kick it to O'Reilly. Up the left wing wall. They get it to the line. Berg across. Shot. Stopped by Hyder. Rebound to O'Brien. Puts it to the empty net, but that's about as wide as you can get. He ices the puck with 45.4 to go. Face off to the left of Hyder. O'Brien tasked with it, and he wins it, but it's a false start. They're going to put some more time back on the clock. 45.4, and we'll get a do-over. O'Brien against O'Reilly. Greenville wins it. Berg across. Lovell back to Berg. One-timers fought up by Hyder. Pop fly wide of the net. It comes to O'Brien. He'll lift it out the center, not trying for the empty cage this time. 31 seconds left in regulation. Greenville with a hope and a prayer, trying to get something going here. Time running out. O'Brien takes it to the corner. Greenville slaps it to the far wing. Ordering up ahead is O'Reilly, takes a shot. Hyder snags it, 14.8 to go. Gladiators are 14 and 8/10 of a second away from earning their 22nd win of the season and snapping their 3-game losing slide. Face off on the near circle. Cipollone up against O'Reilly. 41 shots on goal for the Gladiators. Greenville's won it. Quick touch pass. Berg's got it. Drifting left. Time running out to the circle. Lovell back to Berg. Fans on the shot. Puck comes out to center. And that will do it. Atlanta back in the win column. They take this one 3-1. The Gladiators defend home ice. They improved to 13-3 at Gas South Arena this season and climb up to 22-9 on the season as they handle their rivals from upstate South Carolina by the final score of 3-1. A big second period from the third line ends up proving to be the difference. Power play goal from Nolan. After the opening score, 73 seconds from Cipollone, the tip-in from the shot from Francis, followed by a goal from Carson Denemy to make it 3-0. Greenville gets a power play goal late in the second period from Keaton Mastrodonato, but it is not enough as the Gladiators dominate on the road to victory. They grab the bull by the horns here on the country theme night, put up 41 shots on goal to Greenville's 31 and outscore them 3-1 for the victory. Gladiators set a new single-season high in shots on goal in a single game. Previous high was 39 in the second game of the season on opening weekend against the Utah Grizzlies, and it was a 4-1 win. They exceed that mark by 2 here today as they put up 41 on Matthias Scholl, end up scoring 3 times in their 22nd victory of the season. Coming up next here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network, we've got the post-game show. First, the 3 stars of the game. Gladiators back in the win column. Third star of the game, Carson Denemy had the 3rd goal of the day. Great setup by Joey Cipollone. Denemy gets his 4th of the year. And he has been buzzing as of late. Denemy now 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 6. Second star of the day, Joey Cipollone. Goal and an assist here today for Cipollone. Ends up tipping in the Francis shot. That ends up being the first goal of the day. And then assists Denemy on the Gladiators' last goal of the afternoon. And the first star of the game, his best performance of the season. Number 86, Ryan Francis. First 3-point game of the year for number 86. 3 assists for Francis. He is your number 1 star of the afternoon. And that's got to feel good for him. He's really on his A game here today, along with that 3rd line for the Gladiators. Francis, Cipollone, Denemy, that line are your 3 stars. As here is Francis downstairs with Miss Emma Hart. See if we can tap in here.
Amazing. Now, I know we're on kind of a heater here for tomorrow, another game against the Swamp Rabbits. So, what's the mentality going in for the next game?
Yeah, quick turnaround. Just get some rest, and we need to get started.
Amazing. Now, I know that
Ryan Francis is your first star of the day with 3 assists as the Atlanta Gladiators are back on track. They win this one 3-1 over the Greenville Swamp Rabbits to pick up their 22nd goal of the season, and they now lead the season series against Greenville 7-2. Gladiators this year have been dominant on home ice, and I think that's something that's kind of gotten lost in the weeds as the season has gone on. How good Atlanta has been in this building this year. It is, some people like to call it the Coliseum, other people like to call it the Gas South Arena. Gladiators call it home, and home is where the wins have been. Gladiators now 13-3 at home this season, and it's really good to win games at home, and sometimes feels like a good win like this can get you back on track. Gladiators really with a complete win here today. Could have been a shutout if not for the power play goal from Mastrodonado with 17 seconds left in the second period, but otherwise, Gladiators get scoring from their depth. That third line really showed out here today. Ethan Hyder puts together a great performance, really bounces back after that loss to Savannah, the last game that he played in the 5-2 loss. It feels like the Gladiators, with a game like this, could be finding their groove again. And for everybody that was ready to hit the panic button after last night and raise the alarm, I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. I mean, there's no reason for this Gladiators team to panic. Found a way to get back to their A game here today, and home cooking is the best cooking, is what some people would say. And for the Gladiators, that's the way it's been all season long. They really have taken control in the Fortress this season, and they've been able to become a great home team this year. Gladiators last season at Gas South Arena were 17-13-4-2. So it kind of speaks volumes as to how good they've really been this year at home. Look to keep that up again tomorrow in the final game before the Gladiators head off for their season's longest road trip. 7 games on the road starting from January 23rd, ending on February 3rd. For the Gladiators, that's going to be their biggest test. And so get a good win here today against Greenville on home ice. Look to do it again tomorrow in what will be the rubber match of the 3-game set against Greenville. And then after that, the Gladiators will have to find to win games on the road. And so while this win here today was highlighted by a big dominant performance by the third line at home, they're going to need a lot of that on the road over the next 2 weeks as the Gladiators make stops in South Carolina, a team that they've been chasing now for a few weeks. South Carolina in second place, but keep in mind, the Gladiators have games in hand, but we're going to quickly find out what the Gladiators do with those games in hand in the coming weeks, because the Gladiators play the Stingrays on Friday, then on Sunday and Monday, they're in Orlando at Kia Center to take on the Solar Bears, and then Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, they're in Estero to take on the Florida Everblades, and I think those games will be very telling to really see where the Gladiators are at in the South Division at this point in the season. We've seen a lot of Greenville. We've seen a lot of Jacksonville. But the Gladiators, though, haven't seen Florida a whole lot this season. Only one game against the Solar Bears, who seem to be figuring things out as of late. And a handful of games against the Stingrays, who the Gladiators have bashed up well against this season, but haven't seen the Stingrays for quite some time. It's going to be very telling to see where this Gladiators team is right now. But as for the moment, stick to the present. The Gladiators win on the country theme night here at Gas South Arena. And the biggest theme of the game was really the third line showing out. Francis, Cipollone, Denemy, those are your 3 stars. But the other thing that comes to note of me, comes to mind and comes to note, is the fact that the Gladiators put up 41 shots on goal here today. That is a new single-game season high this year. Previous mark was 39, coming on the second game of the season, 4-1 win against Utah. Again, in this building, and it maybe feels like the Gladiators are turning a corner in that regard too, because over the last few weeks, it really had been the Gladiators' shot count total, their average, been going down. But then again, you get a game like this, and it shows you that they're more than capable of putting together a performance like this where they really outwork their opponent, they dig deep, play fast, play direct, play a North style of game, as Matt Ginn would say, and they dominate, and they win. And they outshoot their opponent. And so the Gladiators now in outshooting their opponent this season are 11-3. And for the early going of the season, they did outshoot their opponents a lot, very often. And then get to a certain point where about late November, early December, where it became the opposite. And so hopefully for the Gladiators, you get back on track here, get some good shots on goal, get some confidence going, and all of a sudden you go on a run. And so for the Gladiators, look to make it 2 in a row tomorrow afternoon as they take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits the 10th time this season. We have seen a lot of Greenville. Trust me, we have seen a lot of Greenville. 10th out of 14 meetings. That'll happen tomorrow afternoon. Sensory-friendly game here on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. 1 o'clock start time here at Gas South Arena. 1:10 technically, but call it 1 o'clock here for puck drop. So make sure you've got your tickets if you haven't already got them for the sensory-friendly game. So if you or someone you know is affected by flashing lights, loud noises, well, we're going to take that down a notch tomorrow. Gladiators are really going to tone it back so it's a friendly experience for everybody to enjoy. There's also going to be a sensory-friendly room as well for those that need it. So if you haven't already got your tickets for that matchup, make sure you head on over to AtlantaGladiators.com and check that out because it should be a good one, as it always is when these two teams get together. One last note that comes to mind before we go. Gladiators and the Swamp Rabbits have now played 9 games against each other. Gladiators lead this season series 7 games to 2, but now it has been in 8 out of the 9 games in the season series. 8 of the 9 games have been decided by 2 goals or less. Same story again here today, but this time the Gladiators are on the right side up. Atlanta takes this one by the final score of 3-1. That'll do it for us here today from Gas South Arena. Looking forward to see you again tomorrow. Again, earlier start time. Call it 12:50 pregame show. 11:10 puck drop right here at Gas South Arena as the Gladiators host the Swamp Rabbits for the 3rd game of a 3-3. And the I-85 rivalry is reignited in the rubber match between Atlanta and Greenville. I'm Guy Chiarenza, thanking you for watching this presentation of the ECHL. Guy Chiarenza for Shelby Rabideau saying good afternoon and so long. Your final score, Atlanta 3, Greenville 1. The Atlanta Gladiators are back in the win column.